Hi, friends. Welcome in on a happy little Wednesday to the firm of Harris and Meringue. Patrick Harris, yours truly with you. To my left, that's Danny Meringue. Jeff Rust over there on the ones and twos. Hump day.
Some of him, anyways.
Some of it, anyways. What does that mean?
Some of him. Me.
Some of him. Some of you.
Yeah.
You're just partial you.
I'm partially here today.
Are we playing hurt today?
We're playing her today.
Oh, all right. Are we like Jordan flu game, or are we like Herbert broken hand game?
We hit her head in the toilet this morning, so.
Oh, nice. Dude, I've been asking you all morning. You buried the lead on me?
Yeah. I'm okay.
Did you come to a vision of a flux capacitor after hitting your head on the toilet seat?
Yeah, no, we're good.
If we could time travel
There
because
you
you
go.
rocked your dome, that'd be awesome.
I wish it was simple as just rocking my dome, that's for sure. How about you guys? When I get that feeling, I am finger down the throat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
I want it over with.
Oh, anytime.
Problem was, they didn't stop.
See, I don't ever have to go that far to like make myself do it. I'm like, if I feel like it's coming, I just give up. I go in there, put my face in the porcelain, and just let it go.
You know what's funny? It's sometimes like it's a clean bowl in the sense of like it's been flushed. There's no lingering from the
Right.
previous use.
Yes.
But it's like when I get down on all knees and I put my head in that bowl, it's like the body's like, nice, we're ready.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
ready. One time I had to throw up because I was so drunk, shockingly. I lived in Pullman, Washington.
I don't know how that goes.
Have you guys heard of Pullman, Washington? It was my
Drink.
21st birthday, and we went to the bar at midnight. You know, I like turned 21 at midnight. I went to the bar. I walked home, and I was so drunk that I realized I needed to throw up. Okay, so I get into my bathroom, and there's the toilet right next to the shower, which is a tub with a shower head in it. And I know I have to throw up, and the last thing I remember is feeling the edge of the tub, looking in the tub and going, yeah, this is my place. I threw up it was like Wing Wednesday at
In
the
the
bar that
tub?
night.
Ugh.
Yeah, dude, it was so dumb. It was one of the worst cleanup jobs I've ever had in my life.
Can't waffle stomp that down.
No, you can't. Not at all. But the toilet was right there, bro. Right there.
God.
I think after yesterday, I've decided to just share with you guys all my wild stories.
no.
It's all good.
No.
I have
That's great.
slowed down as an old man, and
We're
I'm
tight. We're tight. We're family now.
I'm very, very excited to be slowing down as an old man. But maybe that's what makes these stories that much sweeter, have that much more fun with it.
This one too. We're gonna go full gross. Is it worse to like actually throw up or dry heave? Mine was all dry heave.
Oh, dry heaving is awful.
That's all I had.
Oh,
this
that's the
morning.
worst. Yeah. That's because look, if you can't get everything out in like the first effort, then yes, there's something wrong.
There was nothing in my stomach.
if you're not better after that first go around, there's something not right.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm still fighting it.
Dang, dude.
So
You need to get a sketch pad out and see what kind of invention is going to come to your head.
right. I need to hit my head is what I need to do.
What is a good invention we could use right now? Because you've already created the flux capacitor from hitting your head on the toilet.
I mean, time machine would be super helpful.
Time machine would be great. Would you invest in Apple or IBM?
I would invest in Lugal.
There you go.
Lugal.
Yeah, little hot tub time machine action. I like it.
Uh,
What's Lugal? Oh,
I'm very, very frustrated that during COVID I did not see the Zoom thing happen
oh yeah.
because that would have been huge.
Well, there was what was the other?
That
one?
would have been huge.
What was the guy?
It's because you're not a congressperson in the
I know.
United States.
Already
Yeah.
had the inside traffic.
or defense deals? Yeah. Who's the local guy? Kurt Brown. Is it Zoom Care or Zoom Info? One of those companies he owns. The shares of that company went bonkers.
Yeah, because what
But he lost a huge chunk of it when things started to open back up because it was remote healthcare.
and Zoom, the web streaming camera service, like Zoom killed Skype.
Yeah.
Skype was the number one service, and for some reason, I don't know what they did. I don't know if it's because Zoom is like
Simple and
forgot-
great branding.
I forgot
Become-
about Skype.
become a verb, like Google has become a verb.
Yeah.
Zoom became
Google
a
it.
verb.
Go have a Zoom because
Yeah.
because
I just zoomed it.
I know a lot of people use Microsoft Teams and God, what that product is nightmare fuel.
But people still say, "Oh, we got to Zoom." I mean,
Yeah.
we have Teams, but we got to Zoom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it became ubiquitous. It became Kleenex. It became Google.
As
it
I say,
became-
nobody says a tissue. Nobody asks for a cotton swab.
It's Kleenex and a Q-tip.
Yeah.
And like if you're from me and you're from Southern California at around a certain time, everything's a Coke.
Oh yeah,
That's
I
how it
never
is in the
lived in.
South.
There's no soda, there's no pop, everything's a Coke.
Yeah, I live-
I think that's how it is in the South, like Texas, and especially down in the Southeast.
Yeah, can I get a Coke? And they're like, oh yeah, what would you like?
Yeah.
I'll have a Sprite.
Yeah, I'd be
Yeah,
like,
you're
I
like,
just
whoa.
asked you for a Coke.
Yeah.
Give me a Coke.
Yeah. I lived in Soda World. My dad always called it pop.
When I
I
was a
never
kid,
liked pop.
When
though.
I was a kid, it was pop. My
Yeah.
mom even turned 3 words into one. She would call it a can of pop. You want a can of
Yeah.
pop?
Yeah, my dad always said pop. I think I preferred soda because it made more sense. Pop, I don't know. Maybe I was a music kid, and like pop made me think of music. Popular.
Yeah.
I wonder these days with the new kids and the old K-pop demon hunters if they're going to go back to the pop with with that song from the movie.
Yeah, I don't know. My
You
kids
know?
watch that, but I haven't seen it.
So you're the whole you're my soda pop, my little soda pop.
Oh, I don't know the song.
Oh,
Should that be a future bump back song?
I hear that multiple times a day.
I never
in my
watched
house.
that. Was it any good? Like I watch a ton of stuff
Of course,
with my
it's
kids.
not any good.
I watch a ton of stuff with my kids, and some of it's not bad. My middle kid is watching Hannah Montana right now,
Oh,
and so I'm watching some Hannah Montana.
sorry.
Wasn't there
It's not bad.
Didn't
It's
that
not bad.
run for a really long time?
It's Miley.
It's yes.
I
It's
know,
Miley. Yeah,
but didn't
that's
it
how
run for
that's
a
how we
really
got
long time?
introduced to Miley.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think
I've
it ran for a
enjoyed.
few seasons. Yeah, I don't know.
What's another one
4,
they
5.
watch?
Oh, maybe
17,
maybe it was just
I don't
yeah. I
know.
would say maybe it was just reruns forever. I
There's-
never watched it, but
There's this Disney Channel show they watch, Liv and Maddie, with this girl who plays these twin sisters.
Yep.
It's one actor who plays twin sisters. And
Yep.
one is like a nerdy basketball player, and the other's like a pop star
Mm-hmm.
who's decided to move home with her family for her senior year of high
Is
school.
that the one? Is that the actress that she went on to go in, like in the Descendants movies too?
I'm not sure, but I think she's had a ton of work done, so it's like sad, you know. Not quite
Gotcha.
like Amanda Bynes down the chute, but
That's a deep dive.
but not but you know, Hillary Duff doing all right these days. My girl
is the-
Lizzie McGuire.
It is yes, Liv and Maddie. It's the same actress. She does the Descendants movies.
No, I haven't seen those.
Which those are that one's all focused around. They are the children, the descendants,
Descendants.
There you go.
if you will, of various Disney villains.
Oh.
Yes.
oh, gotcha.
Oh.
It's a sequel to the sequel to the sequel.
That's kind of fun.
And they got
I'm
like
into that.
4 of those movies now.
I never really got to play this because I don't really play video games, but did you ever play Kingdom Hearts?
Oh, yeah.
So like all the different Disney characters together?
Yeah, I think Kingdom Hearts is one of the best-selling games of all time now.
Oh, okay. I liked that concept of bringing it all together.
I had a buddy who's his now wife. She was super into it.
Yeah.
Like just super into it. Like there's some games that are out there that you know they're mainstream, but they have like these super dedicated fan bases that they will gobble it. Like anything like Zelda's probably right up there with Mario now. Is like where if you're just part of that, like,
False.
those are.
I'm sorry. I know people love their Zelda, but Zelda is nowhere close to Mario.
Oh no, I'm talking about with like sales.
Oh,
It's-
they're just into it. I mean, if a new
it's-
Mario
yeah.
Kart comes out, we buy that in
Yeah.
our household.
No, it's just nuts. Just the fan bases and how rabid they can be with that stuff. But yeah, like and again, those are all 3 Nintendo titles, so it's not exactly shocking. They have a pretty dedicated fan base.
They're one of the more impressive entertainment groups I've ever seen
I've never
in
owned
Nintendo because
I played video games forever, and I've never owned a Switch.
Nintendo is fascinating to me because they're like, this is what we do and we don't care.
Yeah,
They like let some games cross over to their platform, but not really. They don't let their games go to other platforms.
Right.
They're just kind of like, this is what we do.
Yeah, you're not getting Mario Kart on the PlayStation.
No, it'd be like if the SEC wasn't on, ABC and ESPN and the network and all these
Can you
different
imagine
places.
if Nintendo just went full Yamaha and just started making everything? Seriously, have you ever thought about that? Like,
Start grading restaurants.
You go full
Yeah.
Yamaha. You go into a place and like, look, I need a dirt bike, and like, okay, here we go. We got this
Yeah.
for you.
I know.
Can we get you anything else? Yeah, I need a piano.
I need a grand
Guess
piano.
what?
It's like what were those meetings like?
Here's a recommendation for a 4-star steak joint. It's Nintendo 4 stars.
Yeah. Well, you know the story behind the Michelin, right? Is that
I think I've heard this.
it was because they wanted people to go because they wanted them to wear out their tires and buy more tires
But why restaurants?
because that's where people would go simply.
Yeah, I guess. Because I would want to
Like,
send you to like Glacier National Park because that's a long way away.
But it's not just that. It's like frequency. That was the whole point. It's pretty
Doing
diabolical.
it more
when you-
often instead
Yeah.
of one big one.
It's pretty diabolical when you think about it.
Pretty smart. It's very Mad Men-y.
Yeah, like, hey, what about if we just get because you remember like when you went out somewhere, early driving days, where would you go? You would go to dinner.
You would go to dinner, yeah.
Like, so that was the thing.
It's funny too to think about at Michelin, there are like 2 departments.
One of
One
them
is-
specializes in like, creating some new kind of rubber,
Right.
and the other one is grading caviar.
Yeah, so it's like, can you imagine the company party?
No.
Yeah, somebody's like, F1 really nailed it this year. And somebody's like, well, the accoutrements at this place in New York City was just
Yeah.
not quite my liking.
Yeah, the personnel invited has got to be pretty wild.
I mean, I think you throw +1s in that too, just
Right?
for S's and G's.
Just to see what happens. Do you think they have separate parties, or do they just do like one big one?
I bet you they have department parties.
Yeah.
Yeah, like not even all the tires. It's like the rubber scientists, they have their party. The
R&D team.
The R&D team has their party. The street team versus the racing team,
Yeah.
they have their own parties. Although I would just throw it together and create chaos.
Just see what happens.
Because that sounds absolutely fun to me.
Just go in there, just smells like rubber. Have you ever been somewhere where there's just like thousands of tires? The overwhelming smell of rubber?
Yeah.
When I worked at motorsport.com, we moved warehouses from Mississippi to Virginia. And we moved into a 330 something thousand square foot warehouse, and there was a section that was probably 30,000 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't understand how big that is, you need a golf cart to get from one side of the building to the other. It's massive.
Oh, I mean, like Nike and HP are campuses like that.
But this
yeah.
is just one building.
That's
this is just
crazy.
a warehouse. And to put that into scaling, I was talking about this weekend. The new Amazon building in Woodburn's like 3 million square feet. It's like, what is happening? Anyways, we had tires stacked like 30 feet tall, and it just took over this entire, like, you could smell it, like, on the other side of the warehouse because
like-
the petroleum is just so overwhelming. It was like,
Sitting in a restaurant with a smoking section.
yeah, and it was just like, I like that smell. I like that smell.
like gasoline.
Mm.
Oakley Dokley, we got a show for you all today. A lot to get to. The gift that kept on giving, which was Tuesday. We got to get to Jim Harbaugh today, whatever the hell's going on in Montlake. And somehow Baton Rouge is involved because, of course, it is. A lot to get to. We'll continue our walkabout of NFL teams in the playoffs. Today, we will hit you with the Green Bay Packers, the San Francisco 49ers, and the LA Chargers as we look to see how they got here, their playoff situation, and what the future looks like for all those teams. Web Gems as well. We'll chat a little Blazers. We'll have Tyson Alger on, and let's start there with the Oregon Ducks. The running back room getting mighty thin down there. Concerns big time for the Peach Bowl. 105.1 FM, 1080 AM. 10:18 here, Portland Sports Leader. Don't you forget it, baby. We are alive from the shadows of the historic Fremont Bridge. 503-864-6326. That's the fan text line. She'll let you interact with us throughout the entire day. Shout out to the cats on YouTube. We're already lively over there. YouTube.com/1051 The Fan. Come hang out with us. Join in on the fun. This hour, we'll get to Tyson Alger here in about 15 minutes. Chat with him. I believe he's in Atlanta or he's getting ready to go as the Ducks are in the Peach Bowl, and the Fan is hitting the road with a watch party at the Thirsty Lions Washington Square location. Dirt and Anthony Newman get things started with Ducks Game Day, presented by Coors Light, on location at noon. That's right. We will only be a 2-hour show on Friday. We'll turn it over to the boys and get that game started. Join the Fan Friday, January 9th at the Thirsty Lions Washington Square location for the rematch of Oregon and Indiana in the college football playoff semifinals. There was already a lot to get to when it came to this football game: the rematch, quarterback play, coaches, transfer portals, how each programs are built, brands, identities, etc. Well, a big thing hit. There were some rumors circulating around. I actually saw them on Monday night, but there were no real sources around it. Talking with Dirt and Brandon this morning about that, it kind of felt a little message boardy. Some people were reporting stuff but couldn't acknowledge their sources. And then the team officially put out an injury report, and Jordan Davison is out. The rumor on the street is a broken collarbone that he suffered at the end of the Texas Tech game. With guys going in the transfer portal and Davison going down, this running back room gets real light real quick.
Yeah, and that's, when you're looking at playing Indiana and you want to make sure you're controlling the ball, that's a massive loss.
Huge.
That's a massive loss. And look, Indiana's playing without Stephen Daly, but
which is also a big loss.
It's a massive loss for them. But, I was also listening to the boys this morning, and they the mention of Indiana and how they've played over the last couple of weeks, I think they've gotten better. I mean, look what they did against Alabama. And if you can't run the ball, you were in trouble.
Agreed. I mean, I think you could flip that. I think you can say Oregon's better too, but that's what makes it tough.
Yeah.
Oregon has gotten better over the season and are in a better position to win this game. The problem is so did Indiana.
Yeah.
And I don't take a ton of investment in the final score of the Big Ten title game. But to me, kind of like the Seahawks-Niners the other night, that was kind of an ass beating.
Yeah.
Saying couldn't do anything.
No.
But they did have their guy, and they didn't have him against Bama. We could argue that Bama team is not as good as maybe they want us to think they are.
I mean, their offensive line is not good, and obviously they're with Jam Miller being dinged up pretty much the whole season.
But what's one of Cignetti's giant calling cards for this Indiana team? Physicality.
Yeah.
Physicality, and Jordan Davison provided that in the run game. You have De'Aaron Hill, who is dynamic.
Who's terrifying in the open field.
When he gets the open field, like, buckle up, here we go. You have Noah Whittington, who's kind of a mix of a little both, kind of maybe your more, I don't know, traditional back, I guess.
It's not thunder and lightning in the sense between Davison and Whittington, but it's not that.
And Davison was your thunder.
Yeah.
Was your goal line stance. I mean, I remember in the beginning of the year, we didn't really have Davison on our board.
But then he became a touchdown vulture.
Exactly. We didn't have him on the board as being the guy, but when you get down there, you give him the ball and pound it in. That score against Texas Tech looks like it does because of Jordan Davison.
Reggie Bush gets all of the credit, and rightfully so, at USC. Go look at Lendale White.
Without a doubt.
Lendale White outrushed him.
It's the open field stuff that made Reggie absolutely dynamic.
Lendale does not get anywhere near the credit he deserved for what he was doing with that team.
So
it's just bonkers.
I don't know where Oregon goes from here. I think that's the big question. I don't scout the team. I just kind of watch and read what I can. Noah Whittington did not have a great game against Texas Tech.
Look, Jaden Lamar hitting the transfer portal, not this. There's people freaking out about it, but it now hurts a little bit more.
It kind of does. So I don't know if
two of your top four backs are gone.
The fun stories I heard yesterday on the interwebs were, Bryce Betcher, third string running back, Kenyon Sadiq run the Wildcat. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. This is an all eyes on Will Stein. I think one of the toughest things or
is it even all eyes on Will Stein?
Fair. I think one of the toughest things about this is you're already, because of situationally, not because of their performance, But against Texas Tech, it was a big ask from that offensive line. Was a very, very big ask in that game. And for the most part, they stepped up to it. There were some times where Harkey had some rough moments. Isaiah World had some rough moments as well. But that's that defensive line, that front seven of Texas Tech. But I need you to do that again, and now you're down a bruiser. I worry. I don't want to say that Davison out is the death nail in the coffin for Oregon. I don't know where I'm going in this game. I haven't quite made my mind up yet. I know where you are, and I probably lean your way.
And it has nothing to do with Oregon, everything to do with Indiana.
Without a doubt. And I don't think Davison being out is the death nail by any means. And we'll ask Tyson about it too. But eventually the clock's going to strike midnight on the O-line. That O-line is very, very good. Finished second in the nation as a unit. We've been massively impressed by them because they're retooled basically the entire thing this year. But eventually, will the straw break the camel's back?
Yeah.
Am I asking you to do too much?
And, controlling the ball, not making mistakes, limiting things, getting yourself in one of the biggest things, listening to Pate this morning, that first matchup was Dante having to conquer third and long over and over and over again. Well, how do you alleviate that? Run the ball.
Run the ball, play action. I mean, play action started to work really nicely against Texas Tech.
And the other thing about this is if that's the case and you can't lean on Whittington, let's say he has one of those games where it's not bad, but it's not the great Noah Whittington games, then you have to turn the ball over to Dante a little bit more.
I agree. And
what does that do?
And we'll talk some more about Dante because I think he is the key for Oregon if they want to win this game. But kind of like what I was saying with the offensive line, you are now throwing more on the shoulders of Dante. Again, I don't want to make this sound like Oregon's toast because Jordan Davison is out. That's not how this team is built. Next man up mentality, blah, 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 depth, et cetera, et cetera. But there are little things starting to chip away that if I'm Cignetti, I'm not getting cocky, but I'm starting to feel a little bit better more and more as the day goes on. Because there aren't these stories coming out of Indiana.
No.
Not that it's a story, but they've outside of their boy on the D line, they've largely avoided this.
Yeah.
And
to be honest, all four teams remaining have.
This is really the only big hurt.
Yeah.
Lacey's back for Ole Miss, so he's in a good spot. Malachi Toney seems totally healthy, as does Carson Beck, as does that D line.
As healthy as you can be at this point in the Stevens. But yeah, you aren't like missing guys. And Oregon, got lucky in a sense of like they got guys back. They got DeCorian back. They got Gary Bryant Jr. back. They got guys back, and it remains to be seen with Evan Stewart. But like, so you're hoping going into this, it's unfortunate that he picks up that broken clavicle at the end of the game.
Reports are that he's going to be out for dude. He's got a broken collarbone.
Yeah, it's like
I don't want to confirm
he's a
this.
running back.
I don't want to confirm this, but. Bro, I'll confirm it for you.
Yeah, he's out.
I don't know anything. He out.
Yeah.
He's out. Unless he, like Mike Evans, goes to Europe and gets stem cells or something. I don't think this is coming
the Wolverine treatment, gets the adamantium.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's a great point that you bring up, Danny, that everyone in the Final Four has kind of dodged this bullet. Again, Jordan Davison, not the be-all, end-all, but a nice piece. It sucks that it's the team against the hardest team. If this was a Ole Miss, let's say, it's
Oregon Ole Miss. Yeah.
I don't want to say Malachi Toney because he's so explosive and so fun, but if there's like the number 2 offensive guy for Miami goes down, because I like Miami in that game. If the number 2 offensive guy goes down for Miami, you're like, ooh, kind of an even matchup here. Indiana was already slightly above in my mind against Oregon, and this just kind of takes it to a different level.
I wonder, has there been any shift in the spread?
Last I heard, it's at 3. Didn't it open at 4.5?
The other way.
Yeah. So money's coming in on Oregon.
Oregon, Indiana 3.5.
3.5.
So went down, came back up.
I don't know how to gamble.
Both games are at 3.5. Miami 3.5, Indiana 3.5.
I wonder what the spread would be in the Natty if that were to play out the way they assume it will.
Indiana 3.5.
Indiana 3.5. Gonna be wild. Gonna be a wild game for sure. I want to see this offense evolve then. If you're gonna miss a guy like that, then I had this conversation with Andy during one of their commercial breaks when I got in this morning. I was like, I don't know if I should be frustrated with Will Stein's play calling, if they don't trust Dante, or, I need to see more Dante opening up the offense. And he was just like, I think it's all the above. Now I think the pressure it was already there, but I think it's squarely on Dante right now. He's got to have a great game.
Yeah, and
He's got it.
the other thing we'll have Tyson here in just a minute. Thing I want to ask him is, this is Lanning's, and it's another opportunity in a rematch where those have not gone his way.
No, they haven't.
Whether it's Ohio State or Washington.
That's true. All right, we come back. Let's bring our boy in, Tyson Alger, the I-5 corridor. Look out, Eugene, Springfield. We'll have a conversation. Wrap up the Texas Tech game real quick, and then we'll get into the Peach Bowl. We'll do that next. But first, the Kahuna with sports.
I hear they got some tasty burgers.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This update brought to you by Mountaintop Metal Roofing. No maintenance, energy efficient, fire resistant, and a lifetime warranty. Do it once, do it right. Visit mountaintopmetalroofing.com. First on the Fan, the Trailblazers have won 3 straight, 5 of their last 6. They now host Kevin Durant and the Rockets for 2 games over the next 3 days. 7 o'clock tip tonight on KUNP. That is 2.2 on your antenna, Xfinity Channel 302 or 1016 for you fancy 4K folks. Jeremy Grant, Drew Holiday still out. Chris Murray, doubtful. The Blazers are 6.5-point dogs. ESPN with an NBA doubleheader this evening. The Celtics 9.5-point favorites over a Nikola Jokic-less Nuggets squad. That's 4 o'clock on ESPN. Then it's LeBron and Luka at Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs. San Antonio 7.5-point favorites in that one. Just 4 days after signing a deal to return to Washington for the 2026 season, quarterback DeMond Williams Jr. announced he is entering the transfer portal. ESPN's Pete Thamel reporting the school prepared to pursue all legal options to enforce the deal that he signed. And Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson announcing he'll skip his senior season and is declaring for the NFL draft. Simpson expected to be one of the first quarterbacks to come off the board in April. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Russ from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Your home for Seahawks football, the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
All right, it's a Wednesday at 10:30. That means our guy Tyson Alger, the I-5 corridor lookout, Eugene Springfield, joins us. Tyson, I know you're a busy man. Thank you, as always, for spending some time with us. I hope your travels are safe and you're getting a little R&R in, but let's dive right into it since I know you're a busy man. Let's put a quick little bow on the Texas Tech game. Your thoughts coming out of that game, whether it be the offensive line play, Dante Moore, Oregon defense. What was the best thing for you coming out of that game?
I just really feel like that's like if Dan Lanning had to kind of like draw up a perfect win for just him and his reputation as a coach, like I think that might be it. You know, Oregon's defense in his 4 years has been statistically good, especially if you look at the regular season. But we've seen a few times in these big games where it just hasn't shown up in key situations, and especially early in this game when Texas Tech's front seven looked like it was going to be hounding Dante Moore, I was just going like, oh boy, like the defense better show up in this one. And they absolutely did. To get a shutout in that type of game against that type of team. There was no talent discrepancy in this game. You know, Texas Tech is just as loaded as the Ducks are in terms of NIL and transfers and all that. And so for them to be able to post Oregon's first postseason shutout since 1917, I think that's one you can really hang your hat on. You know, you can get into the fact that Texas Tech's offense really didn't look that good to begin with, and their quarterback wasn't all that mobile, and maybe you'd like to see a little bit better play from Oregon's line and see the running game get going. But in terms of that stage and the expectations of that game to pitch a shutout, I thought that was incredibly impressive.
Tyson, pivoting to the Indiana game, the news of the day, as my voice decides to spear right there, the news of the day obviously is the Jordan Davison injury and him being out. How big of an impact is this going to be for Oregon, where an Indiana team where it seems like the only way you can possibly beat them is to kind of control the clock, control the game, and be more physical? Like, how much of a loss is Davison for the Ducks?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because I remember coming on here for the first, 4 or 5 weeks of the season where it felt like you could roll a die and whatever number that was who was going to lead the team in rushing that week. It seems like they just had so many backs they could choose from, and whether it be through the transfer portal with guys that we've seen in the last week, like Mekhi Hughes and Jaden Lamar, or Davidson, who's really kind of been the breakout freshman in that locker room. It hurts. I mean, like it definitely helps that you still have a Noah Whittington as your number one. You still have that experience and then that talent, and De'Ara Hill has been fantastic this year as well. But I think it just cuts down the margins for error. You know, this is an incredibly long season. Whatever Oregon team, or if Oregon wins the national championship, it will be the longest season they've ever played in team history. And with that, you need depth, you need numbers, and I think the Ducks still have two really good guys there, but it's just two guys now. It's the depth is definitely gone.
Tyson Alger, the I-5 corridor lookout, Eugene Springfield. I want to get to Dante Moore in a minute, but something kind of piggyback off what you're saying there. The no room for error. Do you think this changes the offensive approach from this team, or adjust it a little bit, or is it just a couple guys are going to get more carries and we stick to the script?
I don't think it changes a whole lot of what you're going to do out of the backfield, because the two guys they still have are pretty different from each other. You know, Hill is better coming out of the backfield in kind of the passing game, and Whittington can be a bruiser. So I think they still have options there. So I can't imagine that changes things a whole lot, other than maybe you don't just ground and pound it every play, especially if you're up, and you just kind of want to keep guys healthy, especially because you're going to have to turn around and fly across the country yet again if you win.
Tyson, in that vein, you know, if you're not going to ground and pound it and you got to lean on somebody, that means it's Dante Moore that you're leaning on. Is this an opportunity now for Dante for not to kind of be on display and have all eyes on him, but this obviously is the biggest game he's played, but even more than that, this is maybe the biggest game he's played where he's going to have probably the largest ask on him. Like, what do you think that says about where Oregon's going to go, or how they go about this, especially with, you know, Will Stein kind of on his way out to go take his next job, and just kind of some differences that might happen coming into this game?
Yeah, it's really kind of a redemptive game for him, because going into that Indiana game, Dante Moore was the name of the country. He was the one who went onto the road went on the road and beat Penn State, and he was the one whose name was in the Heisman front runner. And yes, Fernando Mendoza was right there with him, but I feel like Moore was the hot name, and then Mendoza comes into Indiana and significantly outplays Moore. And everything from that game has kind of been working back towards this moment. I mean, like, Moore had an injury he had to overcome. He had to play through a lot of bad weather. He had to play through just about every receiver on the roster picking up an injury, and he's put up really good numbers, and he's improved week to week. But the one thing that he talked about coming into this week in the rematch is he just can't make it into something bigger than it is, especially when he's on the field. He said in the first game against Indiana, he was just going through everything too quickly. He was just accelerating everything, and it forced him to miss some guys. It forced him to take off running in certain instances when there was still a play to be made, maybe in the pocket. So I think this is a huge game for him, but his success in it is going to be his ability to compartmentalize that and really kind of play within the moment.
There's a narrative going around, I don't really think locally, but maybe nationally, that Oregon can't win this game unless Dante plays perfect. Do you agree with that assessment, or is it just kind of the faith people have in the story and the talent and coaching that Indiana brings?
I don't think Dante has to play perfect. I don't think he can hurt them, though. Like if he has 2 turnovers, I just think this Indiana team is so good at capitalizing on mistakes that I think he could definitely lose it for him. But I think more than anything, for me, the onus is on the offensive line. We've seen Moore, when he has protection, play as good as any quarterback in the country. And when the line collapses a little bit and he's under duress, you see games more like how he played against Indiana the first time. I think they had, 5 or 6 sacks in that game, and it was really just kind of jarring to see him under pressure that often. And same goes for the running game, too. We just talked about them being down to 2 guys. Well, it's going to really help if the front is able to create some push for them, and they're not hitting the backfield and just taking so many hits throughout the game. So for me, this game really begins in the trenches for the Ducks and kind of extends from there.
Tyson, that front for Texas Tech physically is, I think, for most people's money, is the most dominant in the country. Indiana does not have that from a physical profile, but the way that they attack not only everybody they play, but the way they attacked Oregon, you mentioned it kind of sped Dante up. Like how much is this second time around, not only for Dante, but for Dan Lanning, who's kind of had a rough go of it in rematches, whether it's Ohio State or Washington? Like, how much of that second time around for both these guys, how much does it matter?
Well, there's that whole adage of it's hard to beat the same team twice. I don't know how much substance Oregon should put into that, considering the Washington stuff the last couple of years. But I think a lot of what happened in that game, because you did talk about the fact that Indiana's not as talented up front as Texas Tech. They don't have the same sort of bodies, but they're just really well coached. And Lanning and players have just talked about just kind of like the different and confusing looks that they threw at them. Like they just saw a lot of stuff coming at them in that game that they hadn't really seen all season. They hadn't seen an offense like that. They hadn't seen a defense like that. They hadn't just seen disguises like that. And so, yeah, I think being able to have that on film and to have experienced that and to expect that coming in is going to be huge for them. But also, Indiana's a pretty darn well-coached team. I don't know if you've heard of this Cignetti guy that everyone's talking about across the country. I think they're going to be prepping a few different things that maybe they didn't show on film the first time, too.
He's Tyson Alger, the I-5 corridor. Look out, Eugene, Springfield. You getting used to the East Coast, buddy?
You know what? I hate it. I hate it so
or the
much.
down south, I should say.
The games come on so late, guys. It's not good. West Coast forever.
All right, buddy. Well, travel safe. We'll catch up with you next week, and maybe you'll be heading back to the East Coast again.
Ooh, can't wait.
All right, he's Tyson Alger, the I-5 corridor. Look out, Eugene, Springfield. Make sure you catch his stuff wherever you can. He joins us every single Wednesday. Gracious enough to give us his time. He only offered us one this time. That's okay. We'll take it wherever we can get it.
He's traveling today.
Oh, he is traveling today.
Yes.
Okay. Let's put a little bow on this Oregon conversation, and then we'll continue on to some other stuff. 503-864-6326 is the fan text line. Your thoughts going into this game, the offensive line, Jordan Davison, Dante Moore, the defense, etc., or Indiana itself. We'll get to that next. That's Danny over there. I'm Patrick, 105.1 The Fan.
The
503-864-6326. That's the fan text line. I'll read some thoughts for you right now. Alabama's struggle all season was running the ball, and now Oregon is thin at that position. But the biggest thing for me is Oregon's line hasn't been dominant in the second half of the season. I don't know if I fully agree with that. I think they've been asked a lot of, as we kind of have waxed on a little bit, and I think for the most part they've delivered. I mean, a shutout against that, I guess that's the defensive side, but being able to put 20 points on that Texas Tech team with a lot of stuff not going your way, I think worked out well in Oregon's favor on that. Let's see. I know it's been harped on the last 48 hours, but sadly the lack of depth at running back has swayed my prediction. As a Ducks fan, I think Indiana gets it done because we cannot depend on any level of the run game with Dante. He does not have that in his bag, and his arm talent might be amazing, but I personally haven't been floored by that. Sadly, my gut says Indiana. Would love to be surprised, but losing that many backs and depth sways it for me.
See, here's where
That's the Dante question there.
Here's where I come from, though, is that we had a few weeks in a row there where Oregon's wide receiver depth was thin as hell. And they got around it by using more Kenyon Sadiq and more Jamari Johnson and more tight end sets and whatnot. And so
Malik Benson.
And so I think even with this lack of depth now at the running back position, get ready for this. You guys are going to hear football brain rust here. Look for more like screen passes out to the bubble, out on the edges to
Get him in the
use
open
that
air.
as like in a different kind of run game.
And I've seen that a lot from Oregon this year. And as a football fan, it drives me nuts. Like, I hate watching that style of offense, but it is an extension of the run game.
Yeah,
Throwing
and
out
as long as Dante doesn't quit throwing the ball right in like a defensive lineman's chest.
Well, the
it'll
other
be
side
okay.
of this is, they tried to do that against Tech, but Tech was jumping those lanes
Really well.
hard. And that's what Indiana does. They play in space really, really well. They aren't the level of athlete that Texas Tech has, I brought this point up so many times. Bartu has Cignetti as the highest graded coach in college football in his database.
It's amazing.
It's what he's done this year. So if you don't think that they're looking at that and seeing Davison out and going, okay, we probably need to prepare for this, we probably need to go look back at some game film and go, what did they do with Whittington and certain situations, or what did they do with Deer Hill? Like how would they try to manipulate this? How would they maybe put a wrinkle in this? And they're going to do what they need to do to be prepared for that.
Yeah, and I think there's something fun to mention about Cignetti passing over to Dan Lanning. Lanning's got to get up for this game. Not that he ever needs inspiration, but there was a really funny moment on Dirt and Sprague this morning when Josh Pate joined them, as he does frequently, talking about how he's riling up Dan Lanning. This is just fun audio, and if you missed it this morning, I thought I'd share it with you right now.
I think Dan Lanning needs to be verbally abused before games, and so I'm doing it this week. I have pulled up right now my text to Dan Lanning over the past week, and one of them was, "Nobody believes in you, don't show up." That one got an exclamation mark. The second one was, "It's hard for a man who has known hunger to ever be full." And I let him guess which coach I was describing. And then the one yesterday I sent him, this finally got an actual reaction in terms of words. "Only one thing is more flammable than smell." Hold on. Scratch. Poor takeoff there. "Only one thing is more flammable and smells stronger than gasoline, and that's doubt." And I attributed that one to Meemaw, which I think is why he responded. And I will continue this practice up until kickoff.
Thank you.
Because if he needs someone to stare daggers at as he takes the field, if he needs someone to rage out on in the mirror right before the game, I'm happy to serve that purpose. Yeah, he knows I'm a friend of the program. But I just think sometimes he needs to be reminded, hey, you've low-key kind of sucked in these second go-arounds against Washington and DeBoer, against Ohio State last year. Now you get another shot against Indiana. It's time to rewrite the book, my friend. It's time. Don't embarrass me. That's my main message to Dan. Don't embarrass me. I stand up for you. Do not embarrass me.
That is Josh Pate on Dirt and Sprague this morning. I think there is an attribute that's kind of sometimes lost in this. Dan's crazy. Yeah. Sig got the swag. Okay, he's got the old man, I'm lifting up a car to save a baby swag to him.
Sure.
Lanning's full-on psychopath. And I don't know if this, as Dirt loves to say, nobody's given us a chance. I don't know if that's enough for Lanning. I think he needs more.
Yeah.
And maybe Davison going down and, some fair critiques of Dante fire him up to, hit some bumps and let's really do this thing.
Is that enough?
Is that, I don't know. I think it can be. I think it can be. I think Lanning.
Remember, he played with fire in that Penn State game.
Agreed. And, we asked Tyson about this, Tyson Alger previously, does Dante have to play clean? Does Lanning have to coach clean?
It makes you wonder like what they do in those 3rd and long and 4th down situations.
Agreed.
Like those seem like if Oregon can get those, they can be in this game.
I think we'll have a convo about Dante tomorrow or maybe Friday. And I'm kind of on the not fully opposite, but I'm a little on the other side of Tyson. I think Dante's got to be pretty clean, and not just no turnovers, but I mean 3rd downs, 4th downs, like you're saying. As this texter is worried about his running ability, like I might need to see some more of that. I'm going to need a lot out of Dante in this game. I think the same goes with Lanning a little bit too. I think he's got to be kind of point.
You got to get an A, maybe not an A+, but you got to get an A coach.
I don't know if it's the sorry, Russ, real quick. I don't know if it's what you're saying about the rematch per se, but that does exist. That does exist, and to Pate's point as well, maybe that's what he needs to get that going.
And I think Lanning got a lot of crap for going for it so many times
Exactly.
on 4th down last week. But the thing is, and I told you guys this during the break, and I texted you this after the game. I said that Texas Tech game, that Orange Bowl was Dan Lanning's masterpiece.
It really was.
And I say that because we might not have liked all of those 4th down decisions, but he stuck to it.
And in hindsight,
he stuck to his guns.
And in hindsight, he did it because he knew that Tech offense couldn't do squadoosh.
And honestly, out of all of those 4th down attempts, the only one I really hated was the direct snap to Davison.
Agreed.
Because you're on the 2-yard line, and look, you put him right back there. He's the only one. Everybody in the building knows what's going to happen. So that's the only one that I really didn't like. And of course, guess what? Had it worked, I wouldn't be saying anything about that right now. Nobody would. But I was impressed because, like I said, he stuck to his. He committed. He committed to the bit.
10 toes down.
Yeah.
I think Oregon can win this game. I do. I truly believe they can win this game. Lanning's going to have to outcoach Sig. That's a tough ask.
Has anybody done that this year?
No.
Okay.
Dante's going to have to outplay a kid with a statue. That's a tough ask.
I mean, and who has Indiana played?
Indiana's had a tough schedule too. Penn State took them to the brink. That was on the road, kind of their bowl game, even though I guess they, high rated against Clemson. But they played Iowa on the road. They played Oregon on the road. They played Penn State on the road, and they played Ohio State in the Big Ten title game.
In a neutral stadium.
That's a tough road.
So
it ain't Alabama's cupcake walk. You seen Alabama's cupcake walk?
Yeah. I mean, you took down Ryan Day. You took down Dan Lanning. You took down Kirk Ferentz. Like when you're talking about like coaches, Sig got it done.
Sig got it done.
Right, but think back to last season though too, because coming into the playoff and whatnot, did anybody say, "Hey, did Dan Lanning ever get out coached this season? What happened with Dan Lanning and the Ducks? Did he ever get out coached?" No, he didn't. But he went and got his ass whipped by Ohio State. So that doesn't mean that I'm not predicting an Oregon ass whooping of Indiana here or anything.
Yeah, I don't think.
I think it's unfair to write them off.
Oh, I'm not writing them off.
And say that nobody has outcoached Kurt Cignetti yet, so it can't happen.
I don't think anybody's getting their ass whooped in this game.
No, I don't think so. Well, the players themselves are getting their asses whooped.
But I don't think scoreboard
not one
says
team over another.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't. You could put any team in front of Indiana. I'm going to say the same thing.
And you're going to take Indiana.
They've been the best team in the country.
I'll finish up with
3.5 point spread, by the way.
I'll finish up with this texter. It also feels like Sig and Mendoza. It's a season of destiny. Indiana 17-14, very defensive game. Wouldn't shock me.
Kind of felt like that with Oregon last year too.
Kind of did.
Kind of did.
That's it.
Well, you might have concerns about your Oregon Ducks. You might be worried about your quarterback, but at least you got a quarterback. The craziest thing that's
Try
going
not
on
to get
right
too
now.
excited about this.
I am not. I am trying to be non-biased and just focus on the situation at hand up in Montlake in Seattle. The mistake by the lake. You hate to see it. And somehow, some way, this is involved in Baton Rouge too, because of course it is. The Huskies need a new quarterback? Hour number deuce, 105.1 The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Jeff Rust here with your Sports Center update. First on the Fan, the Trailblazers have won 3 straight, 5 of their last 6. They now host Kevin Durant and the Rockets for 2 games over the next 3 days. 7 o'clock tip tonight on KUNP. 2.2 on your antenna, Xfinity Channel 302 or 1016 for you fancy 4K people. Jeremy Grant, Drew Holiday still out. Chris Murray doubtful. The Blazers are 6.5-point dogs. ESPN with an NBA doubleheader this evening. The Celtics 9.5-point favorites over a Nikola Jokic-less Nuggets squad. That's 4 o'clock on ESPN. Then it's LeBron and Luka at Victor Wembanyama, and the Spurs, San Antonio, are 7.5-point favorites in that one. Just 4 days after signing a deal to return to Washington for the 2026 season, quarterback DeMond Williams Jr. announced he is entering the transfer portal. ESPN's Pete Thamel reporting the school prepared to pursue all legal options to enforce the deal that he signed. And Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson announcing he'll skip his senior season, declaring for the NFL draft. Simpson expected to be one of the first QBs to come off the board in April. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of prime time with Isaac and Sue. Weekdays 3 to 7. The Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
All right, hour number deuce here, the firm of Harrison Meringue, Portland sports leader. If you missed any of the first hour, you can check that out on the Fan Podcast, 1051thefan.com, the Odyssey app, wherever you get your podcasts, including over on YouTube, youtube.com/1051. The Fan. If you missed Josh Pate or Bill Connolly on Dirt and Sprague this morning, you can catch that on the YouTube or the Odyssey app. If you're going to miss prime time this afternoon, I'm sure they'll get into some more Oregon, Indiana.
And I can go over your shoulder right now and see Josh Pate on ESPN.
You can catch that on Odyssey app or the YouTube rewind. Fast forward, except for in the future. That would be impossible. Coming up this hour, we will get to some NFL stuff as our walkabout around playoff teams continues. We'll take on the Green Bay Packers this hour along with Web Gems. Don't worry, you Blazer kids. We'll get to them in the nooner. And we'll talk a little Jim Harbaugh as well. But the story of the day, I mean, locally, the story of the day is Jordan Davison, which is kind of why that kind of led our show. Plus, we had Tyson. And it's not even because it's 3 hours up north. I think the story of the day is DeMond Williams at UW. There are many layers to this that we'll try to peel back and get to. The biggest one of the layers being how this all shakes out and the legal side of it and who's tampering, et cetera, et cetera. I want to start here, though, Danny. The biggest surprise to me about all of this, as I desperately try to look at this non-biasedly, I thought DeMond Williams was very happy at UW. I thought they were very happy with him. Sounds like the new deal he signed was going to pay him around $5 million a year. Going to make him one of the higher end paid quarterbacks in the nation. Now, I understand if Cristobal comes calling or if Lane comes calling, then I guess you're interested. But it seems to me that something is fractured at UW between him and Jedd Fisch or the program, or maybe he's smelling his own farts like a John Morant, bad people around you situation.
Or just likes money.
Or he just likes money. I'm the biggest confusion to me is that I thought things at UW were going on the right trajectory with him at the helm. He's their guy.
I mean, the Fisch family certainly did, because Jedd Fisch's wife said on Instagram, "How dare you announce this during a teammate's funeral deal?" It was like, ooh.
Yeah, for those that don't know, there's a woman on the soccer team who passed away tragically, and they held a big vigil for her. And DeMond tweeted out that he was entering the portal during that, which a bunch of his teammates, including coaches, were attending.
Yeah.
So like that's an ugly aspect. I don't know if I want to kill the kid for it, but it's an ugly aspect to it. I don't get it. I know you're losing your running back and your top wide receiver, but you're the dude. Fisch believes in you. Brought you there. You're the guy. this is where my bias might come out as I tease UW. I thought you were a big boy. I thought you went to the Big Ten because you wanted a seat at the big table. You paid $5 million for a quarterback. Why does he want to leave? What is happening?
I don't know. That's the thing is the football part of this is probably the least known. The legal part of this is the most known but most unknown as far as outcome. Ross Dellinger and Darren Heitner, Dellinger for reporting side, Heitner on the legal side. He's a NIL lawyer. Have a ton on this. And Dellinger has said that Williams signed a 1-year rev share agreement with UW worth about $4 million. The agreement is a Big Ten template document used by all league members and built for situations like this. The agreement prohibits a player from entering the portal once signed. This is why UW is refusing to enter his name into the portals. For those that don't know, he submitted, Damon Williams submitted his name. UW is refusing to do the actual labor and process paperwork, or digital paperwork as it were, to put him officially in the portal. And number two, this contract that he signed, it prohibits the player's NIL rights to be used by any other school, though the player can sign outside marketing agreements. So it's all legalese. And
So another team could not pay him. They would have to find Dick Hanna dealership to pay him.
Well, no, they could pay him, but they just can't use his NIL, his name, image, and likeness.
You couldn't put him on a banner outside.
Tony Petitti is in Seattle this week for the memorial service. Is directly involved with this right now.
Well, I think you have to. I think no matter what conference you're in, whether this is the Pac-12 or the SEC or the Big Ten, or the American or whatever it is, I think you have to put your big guns in there. I think Petitti has to be there in person on top of this as much as he can. I don't know if he can have a conversation with Damon, face to face, kind of what's going on here. Why are we doing this?
Well, Washington officials are expected to communicate later today with Damon's agents.
Because if players want to leave, players can leave. That's where we are. What gets wild about this, and we can talk about, you got to change the time frame, and the portal is open during this time. God, of course we've exhausted that, and I think we both still firmly believe in that. But this is also a landmark for you signed a contract, but how legally binding is said contract? Because they're not employees.
Well, and that's the thing. That's where the challenge is going to come from, and it gets very messy, and it'll probably end up being a landmark case if it goes that way, because for all intents and purposes, UW is they're going to challenge this in every last bit. And Petitti apparently is in lockstep with them. And LSU is the team that's named here, so it's Big Ten against SEC.
And
it's Petitti against Sankey. Here we go again.
Side note, of course it's lame.
Ball and ACC.
Have you seen Cristobal's comments about this situation? He's like, it's the adults' fault. They're the ones screwing this up. Bro, you are actively recruiting him. You are the adult. This is where it starts to really grind my gears. Lane, I understand you're the most narcissistic guy in the entire sports world in America right now, but do you really, really have to be a part of everything?
I mean, I don't think he was necessarily going for it in that vein, but on the flip side...
Oh, he has to know, though, because his name's going to get leaked out in this.
I mean, again, I'll go back to the comments from Nick Saban at 2 drafts ago, talking about, trying to go get a corner from Toledo who wasn't in the transfer portal.
I know. It just
Quinyon Mitchell was not in the transfer portal, and yet, Saban's openly touting, because it happens. And nobody wants to admit that it happens, and everybody wants to say, it's on the up and up. It's it's not. And here's the thing. I can't remember what lawyer I saw say this. But you want to solve these problems? It's very simple. Put the contract language in that you are signing them and paying them to play football. Then the contract becomes enforceable because they can't go leave to go play football somewhere else.
Yeah, so in theory, he could play football somewhere else, but they can't use his NIL.
Yes. That's the easiest legal loophole.
And I think if you're UW, I think you are moving on from Damon no matter what. I think you are trying to make sure you recoup that cash.
Well, I mean...
Because you don't want to pay the kid.
Yeah, no. Here's the thing.
And if you're going to do this, dude, I'm going to tell you to walk.
Do you want a guy there that doesn't want to be there?
No.
That's...
And it's really...
It goes back to the conversation we had with Pernetti about coaches leaving. It's there's 2 ways to handle this. If a guy doesn't want to be there and he wants to go on, do you just encourage it and celebrate it and take it as a win?
There's an Alex Golsh in the world versus a Lane Kiffin in the world. And it's weird because I don't know if we've actually come across this situation in the sense of, a quarterback that wants to be there, a team that wants you there, and then all of a sudden you don't want to be there. Like Dylan Raiola is a great example. It became pretty obvious near the end of the year that neither each other liked each other.
Sure.
It's kind of the end of a divorce sort of thing. So that makes sense. Sam Levitt, for whatever reason, doesn't want to be at Arizona State.
That was a little weirder.
You let him go. All right, let's take my school into account. Cam Ward, John Mateer. They both left, but they both did the Alex Golsh thing of like, look, guys, I just know there's better options somewhere else, and I have to do this for me. And we were like, see you guys. Thanks. Appreciate it. This one's weird because they seemed like the fit.
Yeah, but is LSU or Miami a better option for him?
If I'm a quarterback, hell yeah, I'd rather go to LSU
Okay.
or Miami.
The interesting part about this
But you
is
also
that
signed it.
is he signed it yesterday. Yeah. So
Like, what happened to make you flip it? It's like you signed your name, and so all of a sudden your name was in headlines and making the rounds on the sports media world, and all of a sudden Cristobal and Lane decided they wanted you? See, that feels weird to me, too. I don't know if I want to be a part of that either. Of like, it takes me dating a girl for you to decide you like me? Why didn't you like me to begin with? That's what that kind of feels like to me. I worry DeMond is making a very, very, very poor choice here because that kid ain't playing in the NFL. Like his size, his strength, his body type, it's just not going to happen.
I heard Dirt say, like, if Damon Williams is 5'11", I'm 5'10" and 3/4.
And I'm 5'9" and 3/4. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't have future aspects. And if you're going to piss it away like Nico did, going to UCLA, leaving a great gig at Tennessee, bye. At least Nico has potential NFL aspirations.
And I think, though, with Washington saying they want to pursue all of the legal options that they have in front of them to enforce this contract, I don't think it's about them trying to force his way back to Seattle and play for the Huskies. It's the financial aspect of it.
well, that's what Pete Thamel has.
Be like, pay us back, B.
Yeah, you can go, but I want my money.
Yeah.
Pay this man his money.
But also, it's like, did he already get the $4 million?
I don't know.
If he did, then give it back and call it good, whatever it is. But
Well, and you don't know that he got the whole bag yet. But even if he got a quarter of the bag or an eighth of the bag, whatever, give it back.
Give it back. That's fine.
So that's what I'm saying is
But-
that when Washington is saying they want to pursue all the legal options.
But it's more than that. This is from Pete Thamel just a little bit ago. The buyout in the contract reads, the cost of the buyout is in the sole discretion of Washington.
Boom.
The second part of this is the contract specifically states that the institution is not obligated to enter the student athlete into the transfer portal, otherwise assist or facilitate the student athlete's transfer to another college or university.
Boom.
Well, I would argue that contract language is illegal because you're required by the NCAA to enter a player into the transfer portal when they have submitted their paperwork.
But
the whole idea of
right.
like, well, we don't have to do this. No, you are obligated to.
They're
Your paperwork does not supersede that. And that to me is the more interesting thing here in the challenge, because I feel like the NCAA and the universities are going to get their butts handed to them because they're not employees.
Oh, but we win a lot.
Yeah, they win a lot.
And that's the key right there. I have signed contracts, not just here, but management contracts for companies and large corporations and small local stuff. And I sign those contracts, and I am legally bound to follow those rules and contracts. They are not as difficult and life binding as some of this stuff is, but I am required to follow those rules because I am an employee. So is the contract in general null and void in a court of law because he's not an employee? That's where this thing goes.
Yeah.
Is Damon Williams, has he decided to be the guy to challenge the system? You see, it's always somebody. What's the UCLA kid? O'Brien?
Yeah.
Who started this whole thing way back in the day? Have you decided you're going to be the guy to challenge the system? I'm down to play at UW, but maybe I'm going to fight for all my other student athletes who are getting taken advantage of. I mean, it seems like a cash grab to me.
I mean,
But I'm
probably
curious.
is.
But I'm curious because the whole thing just doesn't make sense. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Speaking of things I also don't get until
You don't get a 20-year-old wanting more money?
I don't get the lack of realization that what you did 24 hours before
You don't get the lack of realization
you
from a
can't do
20-year-old.
anymore. Like, you signed on the line, bro.
It's a 20-year-old. And I'm not saying that to make
He's
an
also
excuse,
not the
but-
only one making this decision.
Yeah.
He has people in his ear and people that are supposed to be looking out for him as well. And it sounds like that
I mean,
is
how often does
a
that
big
go
part of
right?
the problem.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I mean, like, I don't like it either, but,
It is what it is. There's no way around it. remember I said the other day the Wild Wild West had it figured out. Actually, it wasn't too bad. Boy, this might just be the tip. Might just be the tip of the iceberg. Because then you get unions involved and health insurance involved. And
Look, let's face it, in the Wild Wild West, you were still pooping outside.
yeah,
Wasn't that great?
no. And the Wild Wild West only lasted about 5-7 years.
Yeah.
Was kind of nice though.
Pooping outside.
Every now and then it's nice.
Every now and then it's great.
Everybody's teeth were gross and they smelled bad.
There are 7 openings in the NFL right now, including a team that just fired their head coach. Yet 7 teams are interested in him. There's a free Harbaugh again. 105.1 The Fan. All right, we'll have Web Gems here in about a half hour. We'll take our trip around NFL playoff teams. We'll head to the frozen tundra, the Green Bay Packers, the 7th seed in the NFC, and my pick to win the Super Bowl at the beginning of the year. We'll get to them next, but let's start here. Something that broke shortly after our show yesterday. I think that will tick all the boxes of what was a wild Tuesday afternoon in the sports world, at least for us time-wise. The Baltimore Ravens have decided to part ways with John Harbaugh, who had been the head coach there for the last, what'd they say, 18 seasons?
18 of them things.
18 seasons, missed the
They can vote.
playoffs 3 times.
6 division titles and a Super Bowl win.
And I just saw a graphic on ESPN that said that John Harbaugh is the 12th winningest coach all time in the NFL.
That's
And
wild.
the Ravens winningest coach, and I believe he has the 8th most wins with a single franchise. It's 192.
Now a
That's a
newer,
lot.
a newer franchise, but it's there's.
Think about that for a second, though. 18 seasons, 192 wins. Doing the math,
That's 10 a year. That's better than Tomlin.
that's pretty good.
That's better than Tomlin. And it's funny that I mentioned Tomlin because I was going to get there. That's what makes this rivalry so great is there's actually a lot of parallels between Baltimore and Pittsburgh in the sense of the type of cities they're in, the
Identity.
the identity, the defense, the
we
well-coached.
were just in Baltimore.
Totally. Beautiful city. Shout out to you people out there. I really enjoyed it there. Similar, they're a newer franchise than Pittsburgh, but John Harbaugh is only the 3rd coach in team history.
Yeah, they're looking for their 4th coach.
Yeah, so I mean,
was it 31 years?
it's Brian Billick. I can't remember who was it before. God, I saw this last night. But it was the coach. I think he was the coach in Cleveland when they moved them to Baltimore, unless Belichick was the one who got fired. I don't know. But there was a coach there. Then it was Brian Billick who won a Super Bowl, and then it was John Harbaugh.
It was March Broda.
Thank you, March Broda. So they've only got 3. So they're looking at their 4, and I'm curious where Ravens fans sit on this, and I'm curious where Steelers fans sit on this, because Baltimore did the thing that Pittsburgh won't, whether you want them to or not. There are some reports that are coming out that say John Harbaugh kind of lost the locker room,
Well, apparently him and Lamar.
particularly Lamar,
Yeah.
who's your 2-time MVP and your bread and butter. They are looking for a coach to come in to win right away with a win now roster. I heard that this morning on the television.
Sounds like a great fit for John Harbaugh.
It does sound like a great fit for John Harbaugh, but I'll push back on this. I don't think this roster is a ready to win now roster.
No.
I don't. Now, losing your quarterback, no matter who you are, is going to drastically change your team unless you're Kyle Shanahan somehow. But with Lamar healthy, this team has not been very good this year. Is that a Harbaugh thing? Maybe there's a little Harbaugh there. But I also think it's one of the weaker personnel squads I've seen in a while.
I mean, we've talked about this about the Ravens over the last couple of years. They've got guys at positions for sure, whether it's Lamar, whether it's Andrews, whether it's Roquan Smith or Kyle Hamilton, like Marlon Humphrey. But the rest of the team has been wanting.
Derrick Henry is the only true offensive weapon I've ever seen with Lamar Jackson.
I mean, Andrews is
He's fine. He's good.
I'd say he's better than fine.
But
He's better than fine.
But Hollywood Brown's your best receiver you ever had?
I mean,
You know,
The Baltimore Ravens have long had a wide receiver problem.
and that's what I mean. So I actually side on the land of Harbaugh here. Now, if you lost the locker room and you lost Lamar, then you forced my hand as an ownership
reporting
team.
is that Harbaugh is doesn't disagree with this dismissal. I saw a report yesterday that he didn't want to move on from Todd Monken. And that
I
was
did see
big
that as
part of
well.
that as well. And we heard, rumblings about Lamar in the locker room, and the more this stuff kind of comes and goes, the more it feels like there's a power struggle that occurred, and Lamar won.
And he's going to. The dollars, if
I don't know if I would look. I get it. One of them has won a Super Bowl. One of them hasn't.
one of them has won a Super Bowl and the other can't win a playoff game.
Well, here's the thing: is when it comes to Harbaugh versus Lamar, I'm not trying to make it necessarily that, but I'm just talking about coach versus player. Can we all agree that Harbaugh is an all-time great? as a coach.
John Harbaugh,
18 years in a Super Bowl, it's an all-time great.
I don't think you can tell the story of the NFL coaching world without talking about John Harbaugh.
He's just outside the top 10 in wins.
Again, like I just said, 12th all-time winningest coach.
Who's the one who gets all the pub? That would be Jim. Who's the better coach? Might be John.
Okay, now think about this.
I mean, the bigger psycho is Jim.
Yeah,
well, of course.
What's harder to replace? A quarterback or a coach that's that great?
It's a quarterback.
You think so?
The team is always going to go with the quarterback.
I do.
I think the team is right or wrong. The team is always going to go with the quarterback.
I agree with you that whether I agree or not, they will. It is harder. Indianapolis has never replaced Tony Dungy. They're not going to. That's an all-time great.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the Cowboys post Jimmy Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Barry Switzer won a Super Bowl with Jimmy Johnson's team.
And look, the Cowboys have had some really good quarterbacks in that time span.
And they've had really good coaches too. Parcells, McCarthy, etc. You know,
Jason Garrett. Wait.
So I do think you can in today's world, especially with the McVay tree, the Shanahan tree, etc. You can find those young guys. I have to be a Lamar supporter because I was so hard on him. And
again, I'm not anti-Lamar. I'm looking at this more from just like general quarterback versus coach.
But this kind of makes me wonder if I'm starting to be anti-Lamar again because he can't stay healthy, which is not his fault necessarily. No. But over the last few years, when push comes to shove, he's pushing and not shoving. And that's alarming to me. I don't know. Is Andy Reid the reason why Mahomes has the juice? Is Josh McDaniels, Charlie Weiss, or Bill Belichick the reason Tom has the juice in the end? Putting you in a position to have the juice is one thing. Executing the juice is another.
That's on the quarterback.
And that's on the quarterback. And can you blame Harbaugh for not getting that out of Lamar? I don't think that's fair.
No. And look, the Raiders have a coaching opening. I would very much like to have Harbaugh as a Raider.
Without a doubt. That's the funniest part about this. I know we're up against it, but we'll have some fun with it. The funniest part is there are 7 open jobs and 7 teams have come called.
So that means a team that currently has a coach called.
Mm-hmm.
Dare to speculate?
Sorry, and I'll speculate on this. I think that John Harbaugh is too smart to go to Las Vegas and coach the Raiders.
Wow.
I think Harbaugh is a guy that's
Dan.
going to – I heard Tony Dungy this morning say he likes Harbaugh in Atlanta.
Giants are also listed.
Giants would be very interesting. I mean, he's going to go wherever he wants to go. The question is –
all the other coaches now are waiting on John Harbaugh.
Exactly. I think the big question for Harbaugh is, what do you want to do? You want to build something? Do you want to take the spotlight in New York City? Your brother in LA, you in New York? That would be a tough move for me. That's probably what's not intriguing about the Giants job. Or do you want to go to a Raiders, Tennessee? You know, does Miami fire McDaniel? Is that the mystery team? Miami sounds like a mystery team to me. You know, you might like
starting over though.
You might like McDaniel, but if Harbaugh's available and willing to come, you jettison that bro ASAP. Do you want to build in in Vegas, Tennessee, or Miami? Or do you want the foundation already there in the Giants? Or do you want I could make noise in the playoffs in Atlanta? I'll tell you where he's not going. He's not going to Cleveland.
He's not going to Baltimore.
He's not going to Cleveland. But to Rust's point, everything Baltimore's looking for in a head coach is John Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Everything they're looking for.
Good luck.
He'll be the guy. He'll be the first domino. And now there's another wrinkle in NFL coaching. When we come back, we'll take our walkabout of the NFL playoff teams. We'll go to the NFC North. The Green Bay Packers snuck in by the hair of their chinny chin chin. Their quarterback play has been suspect. Wide receiver play has been suspect. Injuries, etc. What does this team look like? How we got here? But first, Rusty with sports.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This update brought to you by Big's Chicken. Try their smoked and fried wings, tossed with the perfect dry rub and served with a trio of killer sauces. Menus at bigschicken.com. First on the Fan, the Trailblazers have won 3 straight, 5 of their last 6. They now host Kevin Durant and the Rockets for 2 games over the next 3 days. 7 o'clock tip tonight on KUNP 2.2 on your antenna, Xfinity Channel 302 or 1016 for you 4K folks. Jeremy Grant, Drew Holiday still out. Chris Murray is doubtful. The Blazers are 6.5-point dogs. ESPN has a doubleheader this evening. The Celtics 9.5-point favorites over a Nikola Jokic-less Nuggets squad. That's 4 o'clock on ESPN. Then it's LeBron and Luka at Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs. San Antonio 7.5-point favorites in that one. Just 4 days after signing a deal to return to Washington for the 2026 season, quarterback Damon Williams Jr. announced he is entering the transfer portal. ESPN's Pete Thamel reporting the school prepared to pursue all legal options to enforce the deal that he signed. And Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson announcing he'll skip his senior season. He's declaring for the NFL draft, expected to be one of the first QBs to come off the board in April. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Russ from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Sports Saturday with Joe Fisher and Rashad Taylor. Saturday mornings at 9 on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
I see all your texts and YouTube chatter about the Damon Williams situation. I forgot to tell you, we will circle back on that for closing arguments, as there's a lot of conversation being had on that, as it is a very fascinating situation. I bet you, especially talking about kids these days. Kids these days. I got kids these days. They're difficult to count on. You know what you can count on? Sundays with the NFL on CBS and
Go
Paramount
on.
Plus. Stream your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long, starting just $30 for your first year. That's like $250 a month. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. We've taken the opportunity this week to walk around the NFL and look at all the playoff teams and kind of dive into how they got here, how they were built, coaches, new coaches, old coaches, free agents, trades, what their future looks like, and how their season kind of shook out. And that leads us to the Green Bay Packers. They were my preseason team to go to the Super Bowl. I felt that way even before they got Micah Parsons. I think once Micah came in, it really kind of solidified my feeling. And the biggest reason why I felt that way was, I thought it was a make or break year for Matt LaFleur. I felt like he really needed to come on strong and show that he is an elite NFL coach. And B, I thought it'd be the Jordan Love breakout year. I really did.
Mm-hmm.
It was Favre's breakout year in the same time frame. Rodgers' breakout in the same time frame. Different coaches, I get it, but there's something about that quarterback thing in Green Bay. And I really felt Jordan Love would take a big jump. And I thought Matt LaFleur would cement himself as one of the top NFL coaches. And quite frankly, Danny, I was very wrong.
None of those things happen.
None of those things happen. What happens when I like things? They go to hell.
They die.
It is a really weird team. 9-7-1 to walk through their games. They have weird losses at the Browns and the Panthers. I mean, I guess the Panthers aren't as weird considering they are a playoff team, but we didn't like it at the time. A tie with the Dallas Cowboys in a shootout. Entertaining game, but that Dallas Cowboy team is not good.
No.
Now, they did rattle off some wins against some good teams. They beat the Lions twice. Okay, remember week 1? They looked like the best team in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You were real excited about that.
I was very excited about it because I was like, this is what I'm talking about. Love looked good. Game plan looked good. You know, Micah's running all over the field being crazy once he gets settled in over there over the next couple weeks. They got a good win against the Steelers, handling their division, and then everything falls apart.
They
for them.
just cratered down the stretch.
Injuries, Kraft goes down, Micah goes down, Love's going down, Willis is going down, and this team can't find a wide receiver. We're talking about the Ravens and their issues at wide receiver. Who was the last great wide receiver in Green Bay? Donald Driver?
Been a minute.
Jordy Nelson?
Greg Jennings.
Greg Jennings? I mean, I don't even know if those guys were that great or if they just had awesome quarterbacks.
Yes.
Yes, maybe. That's where my biggest concern is for Green Bay when it comes to not just the playoffs, but even the future. Is Jordan Love the guy? I want to take another ride on Jordan Love.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't think you're not looking at him like Bryce Young.
No.
But maybe you shouldn't look at him as a top 10 guy. I think that's the question now.
And can you win a Super Bowl with a top 10 guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
That's what you need.
But you need more around it.
Yeah.
And Micah on that defense made that defense look really, really good. And Micah coming off that made them look really, really average. Paging Dallas Cowboys, they did the exact same thing too. I don't know what to do with this team. I don't know.
You let a Ravens team that's been hang 41 on you.
Mm-hmm. You won 4 in a row just to lose 4 in a row. Now, at the Broncos, at the Bears, those are playoff teams. One's a 1 seed, the other one your division. I don't count the Viking game because they weren't playing anybody.
No.
You're not peaking at the right time and you're not healthy.
No, you limped in as much as I mean, maybe the Panthers are the only team that limped in more.
Who of the 7 seeds do you have more faith in? We'll talk about them later. The Chargers or the Packers?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's really close.
I think it's the Chargers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they have no offensive line.
Yeah.
It's you and me on the left side. This might be a year. I'm not saying, I missed Devontae Adams. Thank you, Texter.
Oh, yeah, duh.
Totally forgot Devontae Adams. That guy's a good wide receiver.
Great.
I don't think it's time to fire LaFleur. I've been very sour on him this season. I've kind of gone up and down. Just kind of weird body language.
Packer
weird
fan Harris.
Yeah, weird comments, weird statements, weird vibes from him that have kind of thrown me off. And same with Jordan Love. I'm not saying get rid of them both, but you might have to just this season and try and start from scratch next year and hope Micah is healthy.
And then you look at kind of what the Ravens did this year. It's like with everything that's going on, do you make a coaching change next year if things are kind of status quo?
I think you do. I think, who's a coach under more pressure next year than Matt LaFleur?
Hard pressed to find one off the top of my head.
Maybe Mike Tomlin, but that feels that's its
different, though.
weird own situation. At some point, the
Everybody
Heat,
else has made changes.
yeah, at some point the Heat's got to come at Shanahan. Just being real.
I mean,
At some point,
does it though? I mean, you win that many games
been to
with
2
all
Super
the things
Bowls.
they've been through. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody's going to fault Shanahan. He's probably going to win Coach of the Year.
he should, for my money.
So
Yeah, I don't know if there'd be another coach. I mean, maybe a Mike McDaniel if he sticks around, but that place is a dumpster
yeah, but is that
fire.
pressure?
No, that's just your host.
Yeah.
Collect another paycheck before you go. And then here's the tough part about the Packers. Look, the Packers have been really good at like developing players, but boy, they don't draft studs.
I mean, they do.
They do, but
But
they're
in a
Reggie
in a
White.
different way.
Reggie White came over from
Yeah.
Philly. Your quarterbacks become studs. I think your quarterbacks turn some wide receivers into studs, with the exception of Devontae Adams. I think he was going to be a stud no matter what. Where we talk about this with the Oregon Duck defense, the unit is good.
Yeah.
But only now we're starting to see Uiagalelei make giant plays, Dylan Thieneman make giant plays. We don't see that in Green Bay yet. And
No,
we haven't for a long
they're,
time.
They're good. Like Rashawn Gary's good,
Mm-hmm.
very good. But like it's the addition of Micah was the thing that like made them special.
Mm-hmm.
Because they now had that other guy on the other side. The back end's solid. I mean, pass rush was great. So yeah, I mean, it's weird because I think the Packers are like they're held to a different standard because they're the Packers.
Yeah.
Like when the Bears are this, we're all sitting there going, "Oh my God, the Bears!
This is so
This
cool.
is crazy." If the Packers had done this and been like, "Yeah, they're the Packers. They've got LaFleur, they've got Jordan Love, they've got Josh Jacobs. They traded for Micah Parsons." Like the narrative would be drastically different. It would be expectation. That's what I think a big part of this is not only is like this team because of like the players that they do have and the investments that they have made and the trade that they made for Micah, but it's also the expectation of a franchise that's just very good. Consistently very good.
We talk about
To
blue
great.
We talk about blue bloods in college football. This is the blue blood.
It's the biggest fan bases in the country. It's the Cowboys, it's the Packers, the Steelers, and the Raiders. Those are the largest fan bases in the country. Because even though my Raiders have sucked, and I'm not just tossing them in there, they are. They just
100%.
they are.
Oh, I mean, the Cowboys have sucked for 30 years, and they're still number one.
It just doesn't matter because you've been around for so long.
Had success when the league was growing. Green Bay's won the first 2 Super Bowls. John Madden was on video games.
And the Steelers and Packers
TV,
are just kind of like marks of
they're winners.
Yeah.
They're winners. That being said, they will take on the Bears for just the second time in the history of the NFL in the playoffs.
That's why I'm excited for that game.
You know what's weird? And this is totally me crapping all over Caleb Williams. Give me the Packers.
Yeah. I'll pick the Bears.
I think it's going to be a sneaky fun game. And maybe not sneaky, but I think it's going to be a really fun game. If the Bears win, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I think I'm just, I love to poo-poo on Caleb, and I'm not quite sure why.
And
if Caleb comes out,
because you're pro Packer.
if Caleb comes out, and maybe it's just the green, dude. Maybe I'm just obsessed with green.
You
now.
are.
Packers, Ducks. Who else
Timbers.
is green? Ooh, Well, that was already my love.
See,
I already had my love there.
Yeah, that crimson's just washing right out. It's got green blood now.
I hope Caleb comes to play in this game. We'll get to the Bears tomorrow. I believe we have them on the schedule for tomorrow. If Caleb does well, then I will probably turn my cord
You
on
won't.
him. You don't think so?
No.
We'll have to figure out why I don't like Caleb. You want to play that game?
Yeah, there you go.
Play the why game and back it up why I don't like Caleb? All right, let's do that. Not next, though.
No.
We'll do that tomorrow. We come back. It's everybody's favorite web gems. Speaking of Fishers out there, this guy just can't get things right, can you? We'll actually get a little baseball on you. Live from Vegas, Web Gems, 105.1 The Fan.
The good.
Aw, I've interrupted happy time.
Sometimes it's bad.
Oh, son of a...
It's Web Gems.
What'd you do?
The Firm of Harris and Meringue on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 and 1080 The Fan.
All right, this is everybody's favorite Web Gems. Do it every single day at 11:45, but I always love to tease the big nooner coming up on the Firm of Harris and Meringue. We'll continue our NFL jaunt of playoff teams. We're getting the San Francisco 49ers along with the Los Angeles Chargers. 2 Harbaughs in one day. Not enough Harbaughs around here. Maybe we'll get Jack on the horn. And we'll touch in on some Blazers for sure. Trade market. A lot of you guys are asking about trade market stuff, so I figured I got my guy Danny Meringue right here. We can have some conversations about that, plus a little peekaboo to the Houston Rockets that they're in town. Closing arguments. Go back to Damon Williams and kids and signing contracts and how to handle that, so that'll be fun. But Web Gems today is brought to you by, well, the city of Las Vegas. The U.S. Patent and Trademark Office has denied the Athletics from trademarking the name Las Vegas Athletics and Vegas Athletics.
Why?
Well, they are told that the nickname Athletics is too generic and be confused with other activities, even if associated with Las Vegas.
Weird. Here's your sign.
Did you guys not pay them off? Have we not seen Casino?
Yeah.
Have we not seen The Godfather Part 2? This is how it works. The Vegas commissions get paid.
Well, Fisher's cheap.
Bro, this is going to be a disaster for you because then people are just going to make knockoff stuff of you and you can't do anything about it, thus making even less money than you're making now.
Have fun.
It's pretty wild concept. I would argue that I think it's kind of bullsh from
Is it too late for the Portland Athletics?
the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office to deny that, because as this AP article stands out, which, you know, as a wannabe baseball historian, I know, they were the Philly Athletics in 1901, kept the nickname when they moved to Kansas City in, what year is it, 55, and then they moved to Oakland in 68. The Athletics has been a brand in Major League Baseball for over 100 years. It's one of the coolest brands in baseball. I mean, you have to be like 65 plus to really understand that, because in the late 60s, early 70s, the Athletics were a fun club.
Dude, I got a Eckersley throws back.
Eckersley
Throws back.
Eckersley has one of the most famous pitches hit for a home run in baseball history. Eck is in the Hall of Fame. He's the first guy to really be a closer. Let's talk about what's his name was doing in the late 60s and 70s, turning the A's into an entertainment aspect in the Bay Area to draw in fans. Reggie Jackson.
Let's not forget Ricky loves some Ricky.
Ricky loves Ricky. There's a lot of really cool. I mean, Billy Bean.
Moneyball.
Yeah, DiPatesta. You like Moneyball. Like, there's a lot of really, really cool history surrounded this franchise, and I think that's why a lot of us.
Let's not forget the Giambi Damon teams.
How about the Bash Brothers?
Yeah.
In
Did we hit
Canseco and McGuire.
Dennis Eckersley yet?
Yes, we did. I can see you paying attention over there.
Sorry, in here. Yeah, editing.
Yeah, we got you.
I think
Paying
for
attention, Ron.
nope. I think that's why some of us diehard baseball fans like myself, I think that's why a lot of this Fisher and Oakland Athletic, Vegas Athletic, West Sacramento Athletics things really kind of pisses us off, because it's a cool franchise.
Yeah.
It's a cool logo. It's cool colors. Green.
There you go.
Maybe I'm an A's fan
There
now.
you go.
It's cool colors.
Give it up your Gardos.
Never. I'll never make that mistake again. Baby, I love you. I love you. I mean, I hate you, but I love you.
Yeah, there you go.
And I think that's why this stuff pisses people off. Like, you want to move to Vegas? I got no problem. The A's have been the most moved team in Major League Baseball history. That's what they do. Baseball wants a team in Vegas. Why not send the team that moves all the time?
There you go.
That makes sense to me. However, it's just bad ownership. This roster, not to get like super nerdy in baseball, the A's are a team that could be really good this year. They really could. They've got a decent farm system.
Oh, they spent money.
They're locking up all their kids. I'm kind of into them.
There you go.
But then you do bullshit like this.
Well, that's ownership. It's always gonna come back to Fisher, man. It always, no matter what it is, it's gonna come back to Fisher.
I want a baseball team in Portland so bad, I wouldn't deal with this. It's not worth it for me. As somebody who roots for a team that has bad ownership in the Dolans and in the Cleveland Guardians, hard pass. It's brutal, man. It's absolutely brutal. Look what goes
the
on.
handcuff it puts on you.
Look what goes on with the Timbers. If you split my Timbers fandom or the Timbers as an MLS squad in half, they have the same owner. The first half, we love him. Second half, we hate him. And so when you get to a point where you have an owner that you don't really love, it is very, very hard to come back from.
Yeah.
It's really tough.
How many redemption owners have there been? Just in general across sports.
Can you think of any off the top of your head? Just one.
Cuban.
But was he a redemption or did he become a redemption after he left?
No, I mean, like, early on, he meddled
Yeah.
and then got it together.
And I would argue most Mavericks fan wish he still owned the team.
Yep.
Although I like Cooper Flag a lot.
I think Cuban wishes he still.
Outside of Cuban, huh?
I mean, realistically, it's either you're a good owner or you're not. Like, how many have really?
Ballmer?
Maybe Steinbrenner?
Oh, that's a good one.
Maybe Steinbrenner?
Yeah.
The 80s were a rough time for the Yanks.
rough patch.
Um,
But it's a short
it's
list.
a short
man.
list. You are correct. Yeah. Trying to think.
Team
I mean,
just gets sold.
I mean, it ain't the Allens.
Nope.
We all love Paul.
Marge Shot. Wait,
we,
what?
we all loved Paul, and Paul can rest in peace. And we thank him for a lot for kind of ushering the Blazers into modern basketball. But it ain't Jody.
No.
That's for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Talk to Kings fans right now.
Yeah, I mean, they loved Vivek at first because they got, he took him over from the Maloofs. And
Dude, I got a great one for you.
Mm.
The Clippers.
Well, yeah, I mean, from
Sterling to Ballmer,
Yeah.
life was awesome.
But that's
What
a team.
I said, Ballmer.
Yeah, but
Oh, did you say? Oh, I guess
but-
I wasn't
but
paying
that's-
attention.
Yeah, right?
There you go.
Poop on my
There
face.
you go. But that's the team being sold. It's not a redemption story of the same person.
Sure,
It's-
Sterling didn't come back to not be a POS. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to stew on that.
It's tough, man.
If you
Usually the only way it changes is if it changes hands.
Yeah, if you got any ideas, let me know. 503-864-6326 over on the YouTube chat. Redemption stories of owners. It ain't gonna be Fisher. I'll tell you that.
Somebody just texted him Jerry Jones. I would argue no.
Jerry's always going backwards.
Yeah.
Jerry's always going backwards, especially as he's aging and his health is clearly deteriorating.
We just saw him on TV. during the
looks
break, and
terrible.
It was like, oh, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, let me know. That'd be fantastic. We come up.
Jerry says we're a better team without Micah Parsons.
Exactly.
Okay, buddy. It's Eberflus's problem. That's the problem. It's Matt Eberflus. I mean, he was a problem, but it's not the problem.
Just like each of the defensive coordinators, each of the first 3 years before that, too, right?
What would you say you do here?
Yeah.
We come back. It's the Big Nooner. Let's get into some of them Blazers chatter. Y'all want to know about trade market? You might not like what I got to say. At least Danny might be nicer about it than me. We'll get to that
Probably not.
in the Big Nooner. 105.1 The Fan.
I'm Pat
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Jeff Rust here with your Sports Center update. First on The Fan, the Trailblazers have won 3 straight and 5 of their last 6. They now host Kevin Durant and the Rockets for 2 games over the next 3 days. 7 o'clock tip tonight on KUNP, 2.2 on your antenna, Xfinity Channel 302 or 1016 in the 4K. Jeremy Grant, Drew Holiday are still out. Chris Murray is doubtful. The Blazers are 6.5-point underdogs. ESPN's got a doubleheader this evening. The Celtics 9.5-point favorites over a Nikola Jokic-less Nuggets squad. That is a 4 o'clock tip on ESPN. Then it's LeBron and Luka at Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs. San Antonio 7.5-point favorites in that one. Just 4 days after signing a deal to return to Washington for the 2026 season, quarterback DeMond Williams Jr. announcing he's entering the transfer portal. ESPN's Pete Thamel reporting the school prepared to pursue all legal options to enforce the deal that he signed. And Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson announcing he's going to skip the rest of his eligibility, declaring for the NFL draft, expected to be one of the first quarterbacks to come off the board in April. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rust from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the firm of Harris and Meringue. Weekdays 10 to 1. The Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
All right, 2 down, 1 to go here. Portland Sports Leader, the firm of Harris and Meringue. We do this every single day from 10 to 1. It's my guy Danny Meringue right next to me. Coming up after us, we'll slide it over to Duck Insider from 1 to 2. Then the Fan Happy Hour with Luke Anderson in his triumphant return. Back from wasting his life away with his idiot guy friends. I'm sure he's got great stories as we were dancing around those this morning before the show started. You'll get him from 2 to 3. And then, baby, you know what it is. It's prime time. From 3 to 7, Isaac and Suk take you all the way home, finishing up 13 hours of live local sports, regional coverage, talk, radio, whatever it is I say there. Makes us number 1. That's what's great. We'll get to some other NFL teams in the playoffs today. The San Francisco 49ers, Los Angeles Chargers. And we'll finish up and get back to that DeMond Williams conversation we were having. I have yet to see anybody tell me another owner redemption story, Danny, so I think it's just old QB.
Yeah, and even then his is like a short tenured one.
It's more he just became less insufferable, you know?
It's probably it.
Yeah, just I hate you less. I hate you less. But let's get into this. I was looking at an article, Danny, on USA Today about a player that could get traded from every team. Now, there's the usual suspects on here. You know, everybody's been talking about Trae Young. Obviously, Jonathan Kuminga's relationship in Golden State is not a great thing. Hasn't been for a while. Him and Steve Kerr clearly don't like each other. I'm looking at this, you know, hey, there's a guy on Boston who's available named Anthony Simons. I've already been down that path.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily want to have the convo with you, Danny, of should the Blazers trade for somebody? Because I think if you're trying to get better, especially if you have some injury concerns and some lack of depth concerns, that you should definitely be looking at avenues to try to enhance your team. My issue is like, who's available that you really want?
It's going to be weird to see what the trade market ends up shaking out as. And the first domino to fall league-wide is going to be Trae Young, but it appears like the Hawks maybe try to hold on a little bit longer and not be the first team to do something.
And why?
Just to see if they can get something better, but...
Oh, to see somebody else on a less caliber than Trae Young go for what you thought you were going to get for Trae Young and then bump that up?
But like just the sense of like, does another team get desperate?
Mm-hmm.
Because the offers, like, there's a reason why the 3 guards that I bring up all the time, Trae Young, John Morant, LaMelo Ball, all 3 of those teams have been shopping those guys for 2 years. I've told you that since you got in here, Dusty. 100%. But the gap between them and like Darius Garland it's a canyon.
Huge.
Like, and not only is
and Darius Garland's aren't available.
Oh, not only that, I mean, for the right price, he could
everybody.
be.
Well,
yeah.
We know in the NBA
Yeah.
everyone's available.
Everyone's available. But, there was talk of Garland maybe being dealt last year, and them getting away from the kind of the two guard thing with Garland and Mitchell, and having Mitchell kind of be your one and getting bigger everywhere else. But because Garland's contract is a little bit bigger, he's not like a Zach LaVine or a Trae Young or a LaMelo Ball in the sense of like his contract being so onerous, especially in respect to his play. But here's the other part of it. DG's also a likable guy.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing is like,
If I was a Cavs fan, he'd be the guy that I have the jersey of.
yeah, no,
Probably. I'd probably do Mobley.
or Mitchell.
Pac-12 and defense would
Yeah.
be my kind of
Hey,
guy.
but where did Mobley go to school?
I believe he went to the University of Spoiled Children.
Indeed, he did.
I
But-
had to.
No, it's fine. It comes with territory.
Great player at USC. Great player at USC.
But
Him and his brother.
hey, look, Isaiah got a nice little ride there. But the trade market, I think, is going to materialize a little bit more once you see some of these other guys move. And the Lakers are a team that they're saying that they want to do something. Sacramento's saying basically you can have anything, not named like Neek Clifford.
Yeah.
It's everything must go kind of a situation. I don't know how much they actually do at the deadline. We'll see what kind of happens there. The Knicks have flagged that they're kind of looking for some help. The two deepest positions in the NBA right now are point guard and center. There's just teams, well, even though teams may need some of those things, you can find depth pieces everywhere.
Well, let's take our Blazers, for example. There is no need for bigs.
And there's really no need
No.
for point guards in the like when you're making a trade because you've got three. They're just all hurt.
And I think that's something that Blazer fans and those of us that speak about the Blazers, I think it's an understatement to say it's something you have to keep in mind. And I think that's what's really dangerous with this team. And I will caution Blazer fans out there. I know that Rob Williams and Jeremy Grant and even Drew Holiday to an extent feel like these pieces that are great dangle pieces to trade. But don't live in the Jerry DiPoto world of making trades just to make trades. You see this. We don't talk fantasy on this program about any sport really, but I've seen so many fantasy managers. I've got one in a long-term keeper league in baseball who loves to make trades.
Yeah.
It spices up the joint. It's entertaining.
More fun.
And in a fantasy world, that stuff's really, really exciting. The problem is be careful of doing it for the sake of doing it. Like I said,
Which this organization with Joe Cronin and his staff have not done.
I thought you nailed it right on the head yesterday about Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant is a fantastic trade piece if you want to move him. There are a bunch of teams, contenders out there. I think the Lakers would be interested. I think the Bucks would be interested. I think there's a lot of teams out there that would be interested in Jeremy Grant's services.
But what are you getting back?
And his contract isn't that terrible for the team. You might not like it from his output versus his dollar, but in the grand scheme of the team, it's not a bad deal.
I put up a tweet yesterday or day before talking about Kuminga and Trae Young and how the Blazers are linked to them through the media, and I don't believe any last bit of that.
What does Kuminga give the Blazers that they don't really have?
Hey, do the
right
Blazers need a guy who doesn't shoot and doesn't like he has the tool, potentially has the tools, but doesn't actually do the things?
No, I have the real version of that, and that is Tumani Kamara.
Yeah.
I don't need to shoot all the time because he's got other jobs and executes them at a very, very high level.
If I can get my laptop to load up here.
I have Donovan Clingan, who do I want more from the offensive side of Donovan? Yes, I do. But right now, I'm focused on you banging the glass for rebounds and playing a little post defense when you need to. We talked about him against Nurk the other night. I don't need a guy that can't score.
So here's the thing about Kuminga. His effective field goal percentage over the last 2 years is in the 21st and 13th percentile. Before that, it was 69th, 78th, and 45th. He is a rim finisher, and everywhere else, I mean everywhere else, it's basically a tire fire. Mid-range, he has been the 28th, 54th, 46th, 25th, and 37th percentile. Three-point percentage, he's been in the 32nd, 65th, 28th, 30th, 42nd. So that's his shooting accuracy. But the problem is you go to his shooting frequency, he's a guy that has been like the 80th plus percentile in mid-range and, around the 60th, 70th percentile in the rim. And he also doesn't take threes. So he doesn't take and make threes. He takes a bunch of mid-range shots that he's not good at. And he's not a guy that lives at the rim when he's actually a plus rim finisher. So that's just the offensive side of things. When you look at his rebounding, or his defensive side of the ball, he's not a guy who gets blocks. He's not a guy who gets steals. He fouls too much. He's not a great rebounder.
Wait a sec. You don't steal, block, rebound, and you foul too much? Do I need to say this again? What would you say you do here?
Like, again, so this year his offensive rebound rate and defensive rebound rates are both career highs, basically, but it's because his minutes have been limited.
Look, I know that this Blazer team is hurt, okay? I know this Blazer team is decimated when it comes to depth, especially at the point guard position. But Drew was not brought in to be a trade piece. Now, if the right deal came along, sure.
When they made the deal for Drew, because I talked to him, I was like, explain this to me.
Because it was weird at first.
I like Drew. Because the whole idea was like, if you were going to trade Ant, it was to kind of clear a path for Scoot and Shea. Like, Drew doesn't do that.
Drew clogs that up big time because he is a Hall of Fame point guard.
And they flat out told me, like, we love who he is. Like, right now, we think, like, in those first, 18 games? He was great.
The idea is to put the right people around your kids. And is it unfortunate that Jeremy Grant and Drew Holiday are missing extended time? Is it unfortunate that we're waiting on Scoot still and really kind of no news out of that camp? Of course it is. But I think if you are a GM that has knee-jerk reactions to trade because you are hurt in a window where you are not competing, quote unquote, that is malpractice.
Yeah.
And I think just because people want Jeremy Grant is not a good reason to sell him.
No, and I think the Blazers believe that too. And look, if the right deal came across for basically anybody, I'd be like, yeah, anyone not named Denny at this point.
At this point, yeah.
But, I put up that tweet the other day, and somebody's like, well, they need to trade Jeremy Grant because of his contract. And I'm like, what does that accomplish?
Yeah, what books are you clearing?
Like,
are you about to go sign Kevin Durant?
That's the thing, is like, free agency's kind of dead. And here's the thing, and people hate hearing this, but it's the truth. You need to have contracts on your book to make trades.
Yep. Because you got to,
money's got to match.
What's the thought with Trae Young? It's to go to Washington to offset CJ McCollum's bad deal.
Well, CJ's deal is expiring. It would get Atlanta out of it a year earlier. But Trae's not going to go to a place happily unless he's getting his next year picked up, which is like $50 million.
Oh, God.
Which you want to talk yourself into. People are like, oh, the Blazers should do that, and they should get off Jeremy, and they can clear the books. And I'm like, but why? For what? Like, what is the purpose? If you give me an actual purpose, we can talk about it. But like, having clean books isn't this thing, and it hasn't been this thing for a long time. Because number one, you're the Blazers. You don't sign free agents. Number two, it's Kevin Love was, I can't remember which pod he went on the other day, was like, we've got to talk about these aprons. These aprons are screwing teams over.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're telling me the Oklahoma City Thunder aren't going to be able to keep players because of these aprons? And he goes, and we know why it is, and we know who did it. And he's basically going, hey, Christian James McCollum, you did this.
Yeah. You hosed us in the collective bargaining and running the players union and all that stuff.
It's like, great, you guys can all smoke weed now and not get tested for it, but also at the same time, these contracts and the structures of them and how teams can keep guys together and actually pay guys at the same time is so onerous that you just can't do it.
I tried, Jennifer.
Yeah.
There you go. We'll get out on this. I don't mind going a little long on this. We'll get out on this though. I think another dangerous thing, if you're a Blazer fan listening to this right now, something that is very, very important to remember is this team is not competing right now.
No.
If this team makes the 9 seed, the 8 seed, 7 seed, something like that, that's house money. This team is still a build in progress. And guys like Jeremy, guys like Drew, guys like Dame, even though he's not suited, that's building culture. You've got new ownership coming in. You might have a whole new coaching staff, whole new front office.
We don't know. That's the other
we
part
don't
of
know
this
that. But a lot of these players are still going to be there.
Any moves that are going to be made, they're going to be greenlit by Dundon.
Exactly. But these players are still going to be here. So you start to build that culture. Even when you start to compete, Jeremy Grant might not be here. Drew Holiday might not be here when you're really starting to compete, assuming your window goes the way. But you've done the hard work of teaching the Scoots, the Donovans, the Shadens, the Dennys, the Tumanis, who I just named your future starting 5, in theory, how to be true NBA players and contributors.
I'm not against the Blazers making moves coming up to the trade deadline. What I am against is them making moves to try to make a push for like the 8th seed in the West this year.
But
if you're going
cost?
to make a move, have it be looking more forward into the future for next year and the year after that. But I don't want it to just be some little piece to try to be like, oh, we're currently 10th. Let's try to get the 8th seed.
Sure.
That does nothing.
Does nothing for me too. All right, we come back. We'll head back over to the NFL as we continue our jaunt around NFL playoff teams. The San Francisco 49ers are on deck. Kyle Shanahan somehow does it again, but Can lightning strike twice? Is it time for Cinderella to go home? We'll do that next. 105.1 The Fan.
The
Blazers will take on the Rockets tonight, 7 p.m. Daniel Meringue will be in the building. How many times have you seen Kevin Durant live?
Too many to count.
Yeah, is he good, huh?
It's always.
I've never seen him live.
Always worth the price of admission.
Yeah. That's one I think I'm disappointed I've never seen live.
Yeah, no, it's the one that I haven't seen live that much recently is Wemby. Seemingly misses every game.
You missed Coop too, didn't you?
Yeah, I was
That you
still
were-
recovering.
yeah.
Yeah, wasn't thrilled about that. But then it was also Embiid. Embiid just didn't play in Portland forever.
At least you will get plenty of Wemby and Coop.
Yeah, for sure.
As a youth, my dad, he for several years, he split season tickets with a couple of guys. So we'd get like 10, 11 games a year or what have you. And, the guy who bought the package and he took half the games, he got to do most of the choosing. But we're talking like the heyday of the late 80s and into the early 90s and some of those, close to championship years. Never got to see Jordan.
Yeah. Only comes once a year.
Yeah.
We've been spending the week dancing around the NFL and looking at teams as they get into the playoffs, kind of skirting around matchups. We might talk a little matchups on Friday, but just kind of looking at teams and seeing how they got here, whether free agency, new coaches, like the Patriots are a completely different story than this team we're about to get to in the sense of, some teams have been around for a while. Some teams, this is their first time in a little bit going into the playoff with a whole new cast of characters. And other teams, this is what we do here. And that lands us on the San Francisco 49ers, who are a fascinating team. Every year they come in with a loaded roster. I think it's safe to say we all really respect Kyle Shanahan. Lynch has done a great job in that front office. You and I have talked about this a lot, and you introduced me to the concept of
Injury risk management.
Risk management, yeah, that your injury tolerance level for the 49ers has been larger than everybody else, which is why it seems like everybody's constantly hurt.
Did you see the story that circulated today?
I did not.
It's definitely 49ers adjacent. Do you know that there is a giant power grid right next to their practice facility?
I did know this.
So there is.
Are we talking 5G here? Magnets?
Uh,
Are we tinfoil hats over here?
Low-level electromagnetic fields.
Ooh, baby.
There's a guy out there that has this long study that basically says that highlights the being in those fields for long periods of time can cause softening of tissues, degradation of tendons and ligaments. It was like,
That's so wild, dude.
I'm like,
This is like Aaron Brockovich, but
Well,
in the NFL.
yeah.
Or the mesothelioma ads.
Yes,
But it's like,
Did you or your family member ever serve at Camp Lejeune?
Camp Lejeune, yeah.
that dirty place. But yeah, I'm not saying it's true, but I'm not saying it's true because it would certainly. Look, if you're the 49ers and you're not buried on a burial ground or you're not practicing on a burial ground, like that's my next thing is like, okay, sure, we have a risk tolerance or an injury management level that's maybe higher than somebody else's. Like we're willing to take those opportunities and those chances. But man, I don't know. I'm maybe I wouldn't tighten my tinfoil because electromagnetic fields might get amplified, but like it would certainly explain some things of the freakiness of it all.
Well, and the weirdest thing too is it's not like the depth guys that are going down. It's the studs.
It's stars. It's Fred Warner. It's Christian McCaffrey.
Brock
it's Trent
Purdy, Trent Williams, Bosa.
Bosa. Now again, Bosa, McCaffrey, guys that have
Deebo
historically
Samuel.
guys that have historically been beat up, but it's also if you're getting tenderized by magnetic fields and it's making it worse, yeah, it can probably exacerbate some things.
As far as how this team got here, I think it's safe to say both you and I have been very impressed with Kyle Shanahan. I know I have waxed
Still
poetically.
the most fraudulent 12-win team I've ever seen.
I have waxed poetically about my love for Kyle Shanahan and the job he's done this year.
Just keep leaning into it.
I know I'm going to. But to back up your point, Danny, the most fraudulent 12-5 win. Are you looking at their wins right now?
Yeah, I mean, that chunk of wins that they closed the season with before losing to the Seahawks. They beat the Cardinals, the Panthers, the Browns, the Titans, the Colts, and then that complete S-show of a game against the Bears.
They have only won 2 games against, we banged on the Patriots for this. They've only won 2 games against teams over 500. The Seahawks in week 1 and the Bears 2 weeks ago.
Well, they did get the Rams. They got the Rams at the Rams, so they have 3.
Oh, okay. So they
26-23.
There's the West for you.
There you
Spin
go.
the chamber.
Yeah.
And one could argue that's a Sam Darnold poo-poo game that they won in the first week. So there's that. This team is very, very talented. Like the names on the back of the jersey are
And that was
very,
the Mac
very good.
Jones games where Mac went absolutely bonkers.
And to see Mac Jones, I don't know if you caught this. There was a little blurb from Vic Fangio. They asked him about the San Francisco 49ers. And he basically kind of inadvertently poo-pooed over Brock Purdy, saying like, look, Mac Jones came in and played just as well. Now, I thought Mac Jones was this good of a player. He was just in bad situations beforehand. But kind of poo-pooed Brock Purdy and kind of lifted up the fact that Shanahan's the guy that's making everything go, that it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback back there. This team, I have no idea what to think about. And this matchup against the Eagles is even weirder because who's the team you trust right now more? You called the Niners the most fraudulent 12-win team, and I think there's a lot of validity to that.
I can tell you right now, I don't trust the Eagles, but I trust the Eagles defense.
But I trust Shanahan as a coach. I don't know where the bend and break is in this.
Well,
The
we just saw the
Niners have-
Seahawks play, or so the 49ers played the Seahawks, who have another all-world defense.
Spanked.
What happened?
That the final score 13-3 might as well have been 100-3.
Yeah.
That game was not close from the jump. You want to talk about Lanning going for it too many times on fourth down? He knew that offense wasn't doing squat, and I think it was very early that Mike McDonald knew that Niners offense couldn't do anything.
That Eagles defense, they have any juice?
They got juice.
So
They got juice. I think if you're really looking at that game, if you want to break it down for a moment, can Philly's offense do anything? Because we've seen this Niners defense play well, but let's look at some of their last wins. 37-24 against the Titans. Okay? 27 points against Phillip Rivers. Okay? The Bears hung 38 on you. Wild, entertaining game, but you're in a shootout. You know? The Texans,
Regularly.
the Texans, who have a great defense, only mustered 15 points. Okay? The first time you played the Seahawks, you got 17 on the board.
remember that game was ugly.
That game was very ugly, and like I said, Sam kind of lost it at the end of that game.
And remember that
the
Rams
offensive
game,
line lost it.
That
at the
Rams
end of that
rematch, the Rams spanked the Niners.
spanked them. So, as much as I love Shanahan and what he's done this year, and he's my vote for Coach of the Year, I think Cinderella might be going home.
You hate to see it.
I mean, outside of the Chiefs, are they not the most consistent team over the last 7, 8, 9 years?
Steelers.
Oh, don't give me that garbage.
They're consistent.
This team's been to 2 Super Bowls.
I'm just saying that the Steelers are consistent.
Sure.
I think the Steelers are a metronome.
Burnley just scored on United.
There you go. But the Niners have been great. But they also, remember, the reason why their schedule is this year is because they were cheeks last year because they were so beat up. But they have 4 wins last year? Is that what it was?
I don't remember. I just remember them disappearing off the face of the earth really quickly.
Yes. Because they were just, beat to death. So, but yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about the talent. There's no doubt about the coaching. There's no doubt about the front office. But this feels like, I don't want to say Buffalo Billsy in the sense of like the team that lost 4 straight Super Bowls, but it feels
Maybe
like
the current Buffalo Billsies.
But it feels like this era's going out. Does that make sense?
It does. I mean, Brock signed for a while. Theory, you got
But
your
Debo's
quarterback.
gone. Trent Williams, how much longer is he going to play?
Jawan Jennings is about to be a giant headache,
Well,
I think.
Bosa, his body's going to just give up.
Look, Fred Warner is a top 3, if not number 1 defensive player in football right now. Not stat-wise, because obviously there's Myles Garrett and
impact.
Micah. But impact, Fred is so important. That ankle is gross.
Yeah.
That injury is gross.
And then you've got McCaffrey, who is a Hall of Famer probably,
but he's kind of glass.
He's a glass cannon, right?
They'll be fascinating to watch. That game is on Sunday, I believe. They're a Sunday
Don't ask
game.
me days.
Yep, they're a Sunday afternoon game on Fox against the Eagles. That'll be a fun one to watch. Enter to win a 4-pack of tickets to the 66th annual Portland Boat Show, Thursday, January 7th through Sunday, January 11th. Check out the best prices, top brands, and compare hundreds of boats to buy all under one roof at the Portland Expo Center. Starts today. Starts today? Why does that say January 7th? And this says Thursday.
Well, today be the 7th.
Today be the 7th. Check out the best prices, top brands,
Sounds
and
like
compare
a question for sales.
hundreds of boats to buy, all under one roof at the Portland Expo Center. Paging Joe Fisher. Enter now at 1051thefan.com or grab 2-for-1 discount coupons at pdxboatshow.com. We'll continue this trend of looking at NFL teams and how they got here. We'll go to the other 7 seed in the AFC. Down south, another Harbaugh today. That'd be the LA Chargers. But before we go there, let's toss it to the Big Kahuna with sports.
Hamburgers, the cornerstone of any nutritious breakfast.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on The Fan, your Portland Trailblazers have won 3 straight, 5 of their last 6. They now host Kevin Durant and the Rockets for 2 games over the next 3 days. Tonight is a 7 o'clock tip on KUNP. That is 2.2 on your antenna, Xfinity Channel 302 or 1016 for you fancy 4K people. Jeremy Grant, Drew Holiday still out. Chris Murray is doubtful. The Blazers are 6.5-point dogs. Just days after signing a deal to return to Washington for the 2026 season, quarterback DeMond Williams Jr. announcing he is entering the transfer portal. ESPN's Pete Thamel reports the school prepared to pursue all legal options to enforce the deal that he previously signed. Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson announcing he's going to skip the rest of his college eligibility and declare for the NFL draft. He's expected to be one of the first quarterbacks to come off the board in April. 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan says left tackle Trent Williams and wide receiver Ricky Pearsall are not practicing today. That puts their availability in doubt against the Eagles this weekend. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Jeff Rush from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live on YouTube and Twitch. And now Window Nation brings you on-demand videos. Watch Window Nation's Window into the Fan.
So, continuing our jaunt around for playoff teams in the NFL, kind of how we got here. Tomorrow we'll hit you with the Chicago Bears, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Houston Texans. Figured on Friday we'd finish up with the Buffalo Bills. My thought process there, Danny, is that, well, the Bills are the big kid on the block here. At least they should be the big kid on the block. If I'm Harbaugh, I might be waiting for a potential job that opens.
Yeah, just hang it out.
I would hang
Just
out.
hang it out. Take your time.
I'd wait till after the Super Bowl. There might be a juicy one. Now, I've been kind of calling for it, but we'll get to that as the week progresses.
He's going to have his pick of where he
Oh,
wants to
for
go.
sure. I just wonder if the best job that's available is not open yet.
Like I said on Monday, might be a couple more or something happening throughout the week.
Fire the Ravens, I'd hire John Harbaugh. Personally, I think he
Seems
fits
like a great
perfect.
fit.
I think he fits perfectly. Let's slide over to the other Harbaugh. That is Jim in the L.A. Chargers. Look, year number 2 under Jim Harbaugh. They clearly have had talent. They hit on a quarterback in Justin Herbert. Not everybody's favorite, but I think this year he kind of proved, despite some injuries and despite, a ton of injuries on the personal injuries for himself and a ton of injuries on the offensive line, Herbert has very much shown that he is an NFL quarterback and a very high-level NFL quarterback. Part of that is just his own God-given talents. We saw that on display when they finally let him open up the offense at Oregon, which probably helped his draft status huge just in that one Rose Bowl game.
Wait, Justin Herbert can run?
I know, right? It was shocking. Thanks, Mario. And Harbaugh usually hits real good in year 2, whether it's in college and especially in the NFL, and that's where we are. This team is a little San Francisco-esque in terms of a lot of injuries have hit it. I feel they have
The
sustained
offensive line and secondary, particularly.
they have sustained these injuries quite well. This is a team that, of all the teams in the playoffs, I could maybe give you the argument the Bears are also there as well. This team to me feels like the most house money.
For sure. Real quick, I want to play a little game. Who's the Chargers' leading rusher?
I'm going to go with Justin Herbert.
It's not.
Okay, who
He's
is
third.
it? All right, who is it?
Kamani Vidal.
Gesundheit.
Exactly. Amarian Hampton got injured.
Chumani Kamara.
Yeah.
2 plays running back too. I mean, he's
3-and-D, baby.
good athlete.
3-and-D.
But 13 games, Vidal's got 643 yards. 9 games, Hampton, their rookies.
Your leading rusher is 650 yards.
Uh-huh.
Rough.
Well, that's the thing is you get 650 from him. You get 550 from Hampton in 9 games. I mean, he was doing okay. And then Justin Herbert at 500. I believe Herbert ended up leading all quarterbacks in rushing yards this year. Which is kind of weird to think about, that 500 after we've had
Well, he had a couple good moments. I mean, earlier in the year, I remember that Chiefs game at the beginning of the season.
Oh, I'm not taking it away from him.
I know
I'm just
you're
saying
not.
the number feels a little low for the league leading rusher for a quarterback.
I think what I was saying is why it's kind of cool that it's Herbert is there are a lot of his runs this season that were just chef's kiss, game sealing, perfect moment to run and get a first down, if not more. That run against the Chiefs, that sealed the game. And that score is 27-21, not indicative. The Chargers blew the doors off them in Brazil.
The interesting thing is when you look at their wide receiver core, McConkey, Allen, and Johnston all had 700 yards. 789, 777,
Spread the ball around.
And it's like, I mean, Quentin Johnson figuring out how to play football.
Figuring it out.
Super helpful. Obviously, he missed some games. Keenan Allen, though. Keenan Allen didn't miss a game after being injured for basically the past 3 years.
Old, reliable. That's probably the free agent signing of everything for them, was bringing Keenan Allen back in. And he even
Gave him
said
another
it.
weapon.
He even said it. He was like, I'm so happy to be back with Herbert. I don't remember. I think it was a Thursday night game that I don't remember who they beat, but it was a Thursday night game, and Keenan had a clutch touchdown in that game, and he was kind of like, it was just nice to be home. I like Herbert, and I like growing with him. I think this team, if you look at the schedule, dude, they got wins against the Chiefs when we thought they were world beaters. They've beat the Broncos. They've lost to the Giants. They've lost to the Commanders. They lost to a firing on all cylinders Danny Dimes Indianapolis Colts. They've gotten boat raced by the Jags. They lost to the Texans, lost to the Broncos at the end of the season. They had nothing to play for in that last game. This team, unlike the Niners, I don't think are a fraudulent 11-6. I just think they have so many things going against them that it's just
I mean, their secondary's beat up. They do have a good pass rush with Tui Pelotu and Khalil Mack, and then I guess if you want to toss Bud Dupree in there, Derwin James is the one guy on the back end that's still
He's
there.
kind of your Fred Warner, you're
Yeah.
just your disruptor who's everywhere. I love Darwin Jones.
But it's one of those things. It's just on the outside they're beat up, and then on the interior, not even the interior, the offensive line. And if you look at the injury report going into the game, I believe 2 of their 3 starters are dinged up. Yeah, Sawyer and Bradley Bozeman are both, beat up. So, and then Elijah Molden, who is their nickel back, he's also questionable for the game. So, shockingly, Chargers have injury concerns going into a game.
Well, that being said, though, they'll take on the Patriots. It's the Sunday night game.
An inexperienced Patriots team.
Yeah, and that could be where they jump up and bite a little bit. I wouldn't be shocked if, of all the lower seeds going against the upper seeds, if the money in Vegas comes in mostly on this game. I know it's easy to want to pick the Bills over the Jags, but the Jags are really good right now. I wouldn't touch that game.
Well, here's the thing, and this is very much reminiscent of Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold does not have a ton of big game experience in the NFL. Neither does Justin Herbert. He has 2 playoff games, and in those 2 playoff games, he was not good. He had the one in 2024 where, 4 picks.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard Dirt say, well, 2 of those picks were balls that went right through wide receivers' hands. Okay, how about the other 2 picks, Dirt?
Yeah.
He was objectively bad.
This game is going to live and die on Justin Herbert.
And that's the thing, and it sucks.
Fairly or unfairly, and probably more unfairly.
Well, it sucks because if he goes out there and he doesn't do the thing, now you've got 3 games and you go, does he have a problem? Is he?
And that's what's going to be tough. His last year in the playoffs against the Jags was an absolute disaster.
They got throttled.
Yeah, and so
they were beat up, and he was playing through a bunch of stuff. And I like Herbert. Now, I think there's people that make too many excuses for him, but I also think I find myself in the middle on Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to give all the excuses for him, but I'm also going to let him have some of it. Like, they are beat up, and they have been beat up, and he has had bad coaching, and he has had a lot of things going against him.
Really, really bad coaching.
Yeah, I mean, Staley, he was not great, but there's got to be some spot in between, right? But is there I don't want to say there's an excuse, but yeah, his offensive line is bad, and he has to run for his life. And yes, they do rely on him because their running game has not been great because guys have been hurt. But he also, it's like the name of the game when you're making $50+ million as quarterback is what?
Win playoff games. And I think it's tough. It's not fair to him, like you said, to be put on this. And I'm more of a Herbert guy than you are, just because the physical, how he's built.
He's big dude with a big arm. He's athletic as hell. He's got all of it.
That's
which
what
also
I
makes
want.
you kind of go, you got all of it.
I know, but I think, and that's what's tough. You said it. You want to be an elite quarterback in this NFL, you got to win playoff games. And it's not his fault, but if they go in there and get smacked around the Patriots, look, I can tell you it's because that offensive line is banged up. And Herbie's been really, really good. I'm a big, big fan of him. Offensive line beat up again, injuries again, but it's like Lamar, I don't think his personnel has been very good, and no one's talking about it.
Nope.
It's just talking about Lamar wins MVPs but can't win playoff games. And if we're going to hold Lamar to that standard, whether it's his fault or not, you got to hold it to Herbert's standard, whether it's his fault or not. I try personally not to do that to specifically those 2 guys. I'll throw Josh in there as well, because all 3 of these guys, if they don't play Superman, they lose, and it's their fault.
The difference is Josh has done it.
Exactly.
Lamar,
well, he's done it better than they have.
Oh no,
Josh is
done
still
it significantly better.
But Josh has still got a giant void on his resume.
Oh, the void is there for all of them. But I'm talking about winning playoff games.
Josh has done it. And Josh only loses to Mahomes and Burrow.
Yeah.
Those guys lose to anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me the Chargers in this game for fun. Give me fun. For funsies.
Look, I get
Just because the Patriots are inexperienced. I don't know what Drake's going to do. And I just like Herbert. I like the quarterback play better. I do.
I don't know if I like the quarterback play better because Drake might have had the best year in the NFL this year.
I hear you.
It's between him and Stafford. So
I hear you.
When you complete 72% of your passes,
nice.
and it's not like dink and dunk, you also lead the league in air yards, and it's like
72 passes against nobody though.
Yeah.
Easy schedule.
Just saying. Just saying.
Maybe we'll put a sandwich bet on this.
I'm
game.
down with that.
I'm down with that too. All right, we come back. We'll close it up. Closing arguments is next. Let's get back into Damon Williams, as you guys had texted some stuff. I'll read some of those about kids and contracts and millions of dollars. We'll finish up there, but that's us. The Firm, 105.1 The Fan.
The firm of Harris and Meringue is wrapping up for the day,
You want answers? I think I'm entitled.
which means it's time for the closing arguments. Brought to you by Leskin Law. One-day divorce mediation. Peace treaties, not war plans. Visit LeskinLaw.com for more information.
You want answers? I want the truth.
On the Fan Sports Network.
You can't handle the truth.
105.1 and 1080, The Fan.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Closing arguments brought to you by Leskin Law. Visit LeskinLaw.com for more information. Coming up on the program tomorrow, like I said, we'll get into the Bears, the Eagles, and the Rams. take a peek. We got a college football playoff game tomorrow. Miami Ole Miss. Get your popcorn ready for that. 10 Toes Down on a Thursday, as always. And Danny Cannell, great friend of the program, will join us at 11. We'll talk college football playoff transfer portal with him as well. But to continue on a story.
He enjoys talking about Miami.
Yeah, I know. He'll love that. He's probably going to take him to win the game, too. To continue a conversation we had at the beginning of the 11 o'clock hour about Damon Williams and this weird kind of situation that I think is going to open the doors to a lot of more uncomfortable, realistic problems that the NCAA and college football in general is going to have to figure out, whether it's players becoming employees, not, or how the structure looks from the transfer portal, et cetera. But I wanted to read some of your guys' thoughts from that time and kind of get back into this conversation. And a lot of it has to do with kind of the state of where kids are these days. And, you know, I definitely don't want to sit here and be the old man yelling at clouds back in my day. But I got kids, and I worry about this situation all the time. My wife and I speak about it at length, about making sure our kids understand that when they make commitments, they got to stick to it. You know, my oldest loves to join a sport for 2 weeks and then quit. And we're kind of like, you can't do that. You know, if you sign up for something, you got to go for it. This texter, signing anything means nothing to this generation of people. They've been allowed to operate any way they want with very little consequences. Blame society, blame COVID, whatever. But this generation is built on nothing's wrong with me. It's always something wrong with the system. And I think there is a little bit of that deflection. I see this a lot with parents of kids at my wife's preschool who don't tell their kids no. I have a family member who has young kids that I think they're not listening, so I'll say it out loud. I don't think they tell their kids no enough, and their kids are kind of nightmares at times.
We've all seen that kid in the grocery store.
I think there's some of us, you know, a lot of those people are my generation, or our generation, Danny, and I think there's a lot of pluses and a lot of minuses from how our parents parented us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we've all kind of collectively said, I want to make sure I parent my kids differently. The problem is we might have swung it a little too far.
Yeah.
But there's the flip side of this. This other text says, if he is not bound for the NFL future, which I, lamented endlessly about, wouldn't it be smart to shop around and get the most money? Of course. Of course. But you did sign on a dotted line. And I think that's where some of that comes in. The system's broken, no doubt about it. But in Damon Williams' situation specifically, you had 14 more days. You had time.
Yeah. I agree to an extent. And sign a contract, honor it, all those kind of things. But at the same time, Jedd Fisch could up and leave and, that's it.
Totally. I mean, the coaches and players need to have some sort of similarities in terms of accountability and abilities.
And some people say, well, it's a buyout. Well, I'd say the difference is Jedd Fisch is an employee and Damon Williams is not.
There you go.
But that's honestly,
from a legal standpoint, that's the answer.
That's where I sit on this. I'm pro player until.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm with you. You sign the contract, honor the contract, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's like, not law of the land, but like the handshake agreement, like that means something. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fully in that. I don't want people to get that confused.
I pinky swear with my boy when he promises something, I'm a man of my word.
Right? But the other side of this is, like, I'm so sick and tired of the NCAA. I'm so sick and tired of the schools and how they've manipulated things for so long and took advantage of so many players over so many years that I'm just like, I don't care. Make them players or make them employees.
And I'm with you in that sense of if this whole thing has if this thing has to get torn down and this is how it gets torn down, so be it. I don't like it. I don't like this. And as this texter points out, which is what I've been, everybody's kind of been saying, the coaches who are supposed to act like mature adults who are leaders are doing the exact same thing. And that's the biggest problem. It's crying wolf. It's rules for me, not for thee. And if Damon has to be the guy that tears this whole thing down, then so be it. I don't want college football to take a step back because I think it's going in the right direction.
Yeah. Well, what I've been reading is there's really just kind of the legal scholars of Twitter, as it were. And no, I'm not just talking about random people. I'm talking about actual lawyers. They've all basically said that UW doesn't really have anything here other than monetary. Like they're going to make this painful because they're being petty about it. Which that's your prerogative.
Maybe you should stayed in the Pac-12 and had a better chance at the college football playoff.
Hey.
Losers. All right,
You waited that long to get it in there.
I waited 3 hours to appropriately throw a shot at the Huskies. Maybe I am turning into a duck honk.
Oh, they hate the Ducks.
No, you wouldn't have waited so long then.
Yeah.
I don't think the Ducks hate the Huskies as much as I do. 10 toes down.
There you go.
Closing arguments brought to you by Leskin Law. Visit leskinlaw.com for more information. Leskin Law's one-day divorce mediation. Peace treaties, not war plans. We'll catch you all tomorrow. Thanks for being a part of our program today. For Danny Marang, that's Jeff Rust. I'm Patrick Harris. Go do something I would do.
Bye.